is. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome in to Sports Time on a Thursday. Bryant Dacus and Jay Morgan Harder with you for the next 3 hours as we inch closer and closer to the start of football season.
Who do you think misses Brett more, me or the audience? I think the
audience.
I think the audience for sure.
Probably.
Or equal.
Maybe equal.
Or an equal amount.
Maybe equal. But no, I mean, Brett will be back on Monday, so if you have tuned...
So I don't have to miss him very long.
So if you've turned on the radio at 3 o'clock every day this week and gone, man, I've got to listen to these two guys again. Brett's not here.
Well, unfortunately, they have to listen to you every day. No, I'm just joking.
That's
they love
true.
listening to you. Unfortunately, they have to listen to me when Brett's
it's more
out.
like a, oh, man, I got to listen to this kid again. But at least Brett's there.
Yeah.
So they haven't been able to say that this week. But Monday... He'll be back.
He'll be back.
And you'll be able to rest easy.
That's right. I noticed you got your Terminex jersey on today. Oh, wait, no, that's not a 901 FC
it's
jersey,
Nashville
is it?
FC.
Oh, so you hate Memphis, Brian?
No, I don't hate Memphis. I love these jerseys. These kits are awesome.
See, I don't know if I mentioned this on the radio or not. I can't necessarily see you because there's a wall of schedule in front of me.
But
it looks like a serial killer's wall with like yarn and push pins and stuff. It's crazy.
Which is weird since it's a glass window that the push pins are able to stay in.
That is crazy. I don't know what they did behind there. That's wild.
Weird.
It's something else. So I can just barely see that you have a jersey on today, and I just assumed it was one of those nice green Terminex jerseys that looks so nice there, but it's not. It's a Nashville FC jersey, Brian.
I love these kids.
I can only surmise that you hate Memphis. Is that what it is?
No, I don't hate. I do not. Much the opposite.
So you just hate 901 FC then?
No, absolutely not. A 0-0 draw last night. Very hard-fought game from the troops. But no, I just got this jersey in Nashville, and I like it a lot. It's a great jersey.
Vegas.
It's Johnny Cash inspired jersey.
Oh, that's a Johnny Cash jersey.
I love it.
So if I could describe it to the listening audience, it's all black. It's an Adidas jersey.
Yeah,
so
Adidas,
the shoulder
or
where the shoulder
stripes.
Pads would be, they have the 3 stripes, and then
they
an
don't
MLS.
wear shoulder pads in soccer.
Yes, but that's where they would be on a person wearing shoulder pads.
Sure.
You see, so on your shoulders, it goes down your shoulder there with the 3 Adidas stripes, gray on either side. Then it goes into a logo on the left sleeve. You have the MLS logo there, and the Apple TV logo I see there. And on the right sleeve, what's over there?
It's
another
Hyundai.
advertisement.
It's an advertisement, a Hyundai.
Another advertisement.
And then it's got a picture of
I wonder
Johnny
if they
Cash
go to Homer Skelton Hyundai.
I'm sure they do. At the bottom, you got a picture of Johnny Cash. On the back, you've got Johnny Cash's signature.
Man in Black.
That's right. So I love this jersey. When I was in Nashville, I made a point to go buy this jersey because
Favorite
I love
Johnny
it so
Cash
much.
song?
Oh, Ring of Fire.
901-360-8255. Favorite Johnny
Favorite
Cash
Johnny
song?
Cash song. It's a good topic. What's your favorite Johnny Cash song?
Cocaine Blues.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I had to think for a minute. I also really like I don't think this is his song. I think this is an old coal miner's like working man song. But he sings a song. I think it's called "Dark as a Dungeon," and it's a song that one would sing while they work in a coal mine. You know, because that way you're hitting the coal on a steady beat like that, and it just keeps you going like that. You know what I mean? It's a very good song.
I love songs like that.
I believe both of those he recorded live at Folsom Prison.
Oh yeah. They've got a whole movie about that. Walk the Line,
Walk
right?
the Line.
Ain't that
I think that's just a biopic. I don't think
I thought it more centered around him going to the jail.
Well, he does go to the jail in it.
I've never seen the movie. No, I don't know where to even watch it.
Let's look it up right now.
I think I've tried to look it up. I don't think it's on any streaming services.
Oh, it has to be. There's like a million, Brian. It's somewhere.
Well, maybe now, but I looked like 3 or 4 years ago.
You know who plays Johnny Cash?
I do not, actually.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Who's an interesting fellow. And Reese Witherspoon's in it as well. Plays June Carter Cash.
Oh, wow. So it's very loaded.
And there's a cameo, I believe, by June Carter Cash in the film.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
For some reason, I clicked on the Wikipedia instead of going to see. Oh, you watch it on HBO Max?
You're kidding.
Or nowadays just Max, I guess.
Oh, I might watch it this weekend.
Uh-huh. Max is screwing up, by the way. I'm sorry, you need to introduce the show.
No, we can get back to Max.
Speaking of soccer, that we were talking about soccer a minute ago, Messi played last night, and they're moving to the
crazy.
semifinal of the U.S. Open
Did
Cup.
you hear about that game?
Which I saw the highlights this morning.
Yeah.
Which the U.S. Open Cup we care about in Memphis because 901 FC I think won a couple games at the beginning of the U.S. Open Cup.
I think. Yeah.
So this is a cup that they are involved in every year. Inter Miami is playing in it right now with Messi. They just moved on to the semifinal last night, beating Cincinnati in Cincinnati, and they won in penalties.
They were down 2-0.
Down 2,
had to come back
2-0,
tied and then went in penalties. The second game in a row because they had to beat Nashville SC in the Leagues Cup on penalties. So incredible from Inter Miami.
I tell you what, if you don't think Messi is a draw, and I don't know if this is a gauge anymore. I guess it was a gauge probably 10, 15 years ago. Sports Center in the morning, the 6 a.m. Sports Center and 5 a.m. Sports Center
leads
before
with Messi.
I don't know if they lead with it, but every Sports Center
You see Messi.
has Messi highlights, and not just like showing the last goal. I mean, we saw full highlights. We're talking about Messi.
That's great.
That we talked about. There's a kid on the team that's really young. He might just be 18, 19, maybe just 20
There's
years
a kid
old.
on their team that's like 19 or 20 from Miami.
Could be that guy. I'm not sure exactly. But the point is this kid is becoming a bright star to the point that he is now a leading candidate to make the U.S. national team where he wasn't before.
Wow.
Literally due to the fact the star that Messi shines.
Yeah.
Obviously, playing with him, you get a little bit better. But more than that, these people are now
Everyone's
seeing every
watching.
one of his games.
Wow.
And that's they call it the Messi effect, which is just a made-up name, obviously. Right. But I think that really is interesting, having the star this big.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we neglect to talk about it too much, how great Messi's star shines. It's really incredible to have that guy playing sports in America.
Especially, I mean, you talk about Messi being on SportsCenter all the time now. I mean, before Messi, you didn't see a ton of MLS on SportsCenter. So,
None.
None. It's great, that kind of exposure.
Not one.
No,
and
not once.
More than that, do you think it would be more or less likely you would see something for a cup or MLS?
Less.
I think so, too. And so
less.
he hasn't even played an MLS game yet, Brian. We're watching cup matches that we just learned about what the hell they are.
The U.S. Open Cup has been around for at least 2 or 3 years because I know Memphis 901 FC has played
Not
in
at
it.
least, only 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's like that fledgling of a thing that we are getting full SportsCenter coverage on. You and I are talking about it right now because of how brightly this guy's star shines. And that is, I think people anticipated that with this, but it really is totally different to see it right in front of your face. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
You're absolutely right. And so, like you said, they're in the finals now. I don't know when that finals game is.
Semifinal, right?
No, that was the semifinal, I believe. I think they're on to the finals now. Yeah, check on that. But, no, that's very cool. Well,
you have to search U.S. Open Cup this time of year because the U.S. Open's starting in 5 days.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got qualifiers.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. That was the semifinal.
When's the finals? Do you know?
September 27th. So we got to wait a full month.
Okay,
so they'll
cool.
play MLS
they'll
games
play
in that
MLS
span.
games. Awesome.
Like we said, they beat Cincinnati. Houston Dynamo beat Real Salt Lake, playing with a red card, too.
Wow.
3-1 they won, so that'll be 27th of September. That'll be the championship.
Impressive. Well, we're only a couple days away from college football starting, and we're going to have a lot of college football talk today. We've got 2 guests coming on later. Bill Bender, who's going to join us throughout the college football season. We'll talk a ton of college football with him, kind of national level at 3:30. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston's going to join us, talk Tigers. As here in a week, you'll get to see him, Tiger sidelines on the Jumbotron. We talked about it the other day. Love seeing Greg on the Jumbotron, but a lot to get to with both of them on college football. Before we get into any of that, I do want to talk about yesterday. A lot of day baseball, and we talked about it. You brought up in your top story of the day that Shohei hit a home run, his first at-bat in the top of the first inning. 44th home run of the year. Bottom of the first inning. I thought it was in the second inning yesterday when they were showing it on television. But what I read today said it was in the bottom of the first inning. Shohei came out of the game. They at first said it was arm fatigue, which if you remember in his last game, I had forgotten about this, but reading up on it today, they were talking about in his last game on August 6th, or August 9th maybe, he was pulled from the game in the 6th inning with arm fatigue. Pulled in the first inning yesterday with arm fatigue. Later in the night, it was announced that he tore his UCL. He will not pitch any more the rest of the season.
Which is the same injury Bryce Harper had earlier this year, correct?
Oh, and he had to have Tommy John surgery for it. So they don't know yet if he's going to need Tommy John surgery. If he does, this will be his second Tommy John surgery since getting over here to America. I think he had another one in 2016 or 2018. So would not be good if he's going to have a second Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, actually, the first article on ESPN right now, Shohei Ohtani no longer a $500 million man? What Ohtani's injury means for his free agency. I mean, his value is in the fact that he's the best hitter in the American League, and he and Ronald Acuna would be your two arguments for the best hitter in baseball.
Yeah.
You want to throw Judge in there, maybe?
Sure, but I mean,
not this year.
Not this year
because he's been hurt.
But those two have stood alone all year from start to finish.
And Acuna going back a couple years.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
This year his numbers have been consistent. But if you're just talking about
this year, consistently he's been there. He's been doing everything you need him to do from start to finish, and Shohei's been right there. So I mean, I think there's a lot of teams out there that even if you say, hey, next year too, maybe he can just be your DH. I think there's a lot of people out there that would still want to give Shohei Ohtani a ton of money to be their DH.
Do you think he still does that this year?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think, because Bryce Harper's playing, and when he got Tommy John, it didn't affect his recovery to come hit anyway. I think he'll be just as effective as a batter as he always was. Bryce Harper's playing first base. So I know he's not throwing a lot at first base. And he's already had the surgery, and he recovered a small amount. Obviously, Shohei's not going to be playing in the field at all.
No.
But it doesn't seem to be affect his hitting whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would just depend on when that surgery is going to happen, because obviously it's going to take, probably a month after the surgery until he'd be able to pick up a bat. So you'd think off-season surgery, but would he be able to swing a bat right now before surgery? I just don't know. I don't know how all of that works. But I know for Bryce Harper, he missed the first month, I think, even DHing, because that arm, he was still trying to kind of rehab enough to be able to swing a bat. So I would think, I just don't know everything about Tommy John surgery, so I just don't know if he's going to be able to. Can you?
I have Shohei Ohtani with the 40th best pitching WAR alone in Major League Baseball.
Right.
That's one spot. So that's one spot, meaning he has a WAR of 2.3 wins above replacement. People with 2.2 wins above replacement pitchers: Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha.
Michael Wacha's been good this year.
Hunter Brown, and Patrick Sandoval. So if he was going to get $500 million before, does that affect it that much?
It should.
If he's worth $500 million, it was because of what he does at the plate. Now, you could make an argument he's not worth $500 million, maybe.
Sure.
Because that's a lot of money to pay anybody, and a lot of that value is probably the perceived, he does both, and that means he's better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that has any place in the market. So if it were me, it would not affect the money I would pay him, because I would be paying him so much based on what he does at the plate already.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because I mean he's a good pitcher, but
40th best. That's
40th
really
best.
good, man.
Good.
That's one
really
of the starters in Major League Baseball.
I don't want it to sound like we're saying he's a terrible pitcher.
Mathematically, it means you're a number 2.
Yes.
Mathematically, because if every team, let's just say 1 through 30 is every team's number 1, 40 would be a number 2.
But Shohei goes to any team, and you're the best hitter on the team.
Absolutely, except arguably the Braves.
Maybe the Braves. But the Braves aren't going to land him. Any team that could feasibly land
the Yankees. But I would probably take Shohei at the plate.
Yeah.
I don't know. Judge is good, man.
Alden Gonzalez from ESPN just tweeted out. He does baseball for ESPN. He just tweeted out, just said this on SportsCenter, Shohei Ohtani will be with the Angels in New York, and it looks like he'll continue to hit while he decides the next course of action for his UCL tear.
Yeah, I would have guessed that.
Sounds like he'll be DHing, and we'll kind of see what happens next for him.
You can't have Tommy John twice, can you? Unless it was how many ligaments in your elbow do you have? What does Tommy John repair exactly?
Your elbow.
Thank you.
Was that not what you were looking for?
No, I was looking for something a little bit more specific. I'm looking it up.
You can have multiple Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah, that's right. I guess it reconstructs one ligament, and so you have multiple ligaments in your elbow, so you could theoretically have it for each ligament. That is my amateur.
Sure.
That based on a quick glimpse, not even a read, a glimpse of Wikipedia.
Yeah.
That's what I can surmise. Wouldn't be the first time I presented misinformation on the radio. So if I am, 901-360-8255.
If you're a doctor.
Text us and let me know exactly what it is.
I had a buddy in high school he was a pitcher for Houston, and he was getting some looks by some D1 schools, and he had Tommy John surgery junior year, and it really messed up his recruitment because obviously a lot of colleges that were in on him said, I don't know if we really want to risk going after a guy that's going to have Tommy John that just had Tommy John surgery. So, and he was in a sling for a while. So I don't know if I guess it would be an off-season surgery for Shohei.
I wonder what it feels like.
What do you mean?
Like if it's like
just having a torn ligament.
Yeah,
or
well, I
torn
a ligament in my knee, not an ACL. I tore whatever one doesn't hurt. Is that the PCL? I think.
I think so.
PCL, MCL, PCL. One of them. I think it's the PCL. I tore that, and like, I mean, it did hurt to walk on, but like, I basically just felt a pop, kind of, you know.
Ooh,
I bet that's what it.
I hate when I hear these stories about people. I've never, I've heard it once. That's just the way to football.
That's the way to describe it.
I hate when people say, "Oh yeah, you heard a popping sound."
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me.
That's just the way you describe it.
I know, but I hate whenever I hear it.
Yeah, it gives me a little bit of stomachache too to say it too as well. So I wonder if that's what it is like in your elbow as well. Again, 901-360-8255. You can offer any information on the matter.
I mean, obviously,
but I imagine it's something like that.
I mean,
because it doesn't look like these guys are in immense pain when they walk off the field.
Well, that's what I mean. If he's traveling to New York and is planning on still batting for the Angels, it obviously isn't super painful, or else he would be not playing. I mean, simple as that. So I guess not. I don't know. I've never torn a UCL or anything. So
me either. Oh, not anything. UCL.
You tore something in your leg, I guess.
Yeah, I think partially too. My knee still hurts sometimes.
That's too bad. That's too bad. The other kind of quick news, Mike Trout also back on the IL after...
a quick one-day stint?
Yeah, he was activated, Tuesday, and played like one game, and then is back on the IL, which is awful. I hate that for Mike Trout because he really is one of the stars of the game, and it feels like we never see him because he's injured a lot.
Speaking of guys that just popped up out of nowhere yesterday, I saw Paul DeYoung on the TV, and he ended up hitting the game-winning RBI.
For the Giants,
For the Giants yesterday.
And a home run, I think.
I literally walked in here and told you, was it a home run?
No, I don't think the RBI was a home run. I think he hit a home run earlier. I think he had a home run and then the game-winning RBI.
Yeah. I walked in here. Is that right? He had the game-winning RBI, right?
I think so.
The TV was really far away when I saw it. You look that up. I'll tell you my story. So I was sitting out there. We have a kitchen here at the station. I walk out there. I'm looking at the TV. I see Paul DeYoung. And I walk into the studio, and I had no idea. I said, Paul DeYoung's a Giant now, which is generally something you say at, like, the beginning of a season.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at the beginning of the NFL season, I'm sure I'll be looking around and be like, so-and-so is a Jet now.
Not
How about
with,
that?
4 weeks left in the season.
Not generally when they're at the end of the road. So tell me, did he have the game-winning RBI?
Wow, Paul DeYoung had 4 RBIs
How about that?
last night. Let's go down to the 10th inning. They went to extra innings. Paul DeYoung singles on a line drive to center fielder Johan Rojas scores a run. Yeah, that was the last run.
How about that?
So
sometimes,
scored 2 runs.
Sometimes I know things.
2 scored on his single. So
that TV was far away, but they were featuring Paul DeYoung a lot. You put 2 and 2 together, boom.
How about that? So Paul DeYoung, good for him. But we had this conversation with John earlier. This is classic Paul DeYoung. I mean, he goes to a new place.
Oh, you did say that.
He has like 2 or 3 like outstanding games.
Can I play John?
He'll hit 150.
Dang, you already spoiled it.
I'm so sorry.
Because you were talking with John about it, and John said, yeah, well, like 200. You go, if that.
If that. He'll probably hit like 150. Maybe 110. I don't know. I mean, that's classic Paul DeYoung. He'll get called up from Memphis, and he'll have like 3 really good games. Everyone's like, Paul DeYoung's back.
He'll be an all-star, and then hit 120 the rest of the way.
Yeah, classic Paul DeYoung. Let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. I said it earlier, 3:30, Bill Bender from the Sporting News will join us. He'll start joining us weekly throughout the college football season. We're going to talk some college football with him as we get ready for week 0. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spa Track will join us, talk some NBA, a lot going on. The FIBA World Cup kicking off tomorrow morning. Also, James Harden got fined $100,000. We'll get to all of that at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll get into some NFL news. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston from the Tigers sidelines will join us to talk Tigers. We learned some news about the starters yesterday, so we'll have to get to all of that as we get ready for week one here in 2 weeks.
Preview yesterday, huh?
Too Deep coming out on Monday. I'm ready for it. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The summer clearance sale going on right now, and Family Leisure needs your help to clear out inventory. All DIY pools, $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pool, less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Patio furniture up to 30% off, and spas, they're in stock and up to $1,200 off. And don't forget about the 24-month same as cash financing, now available only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2023 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2023 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. And when you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is what's going on with the Chicago White Sox right now. Yesterday,
CWS. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, you're right. I always get confused between the Cubs and the White Sox.
CHC.
There you go. But yesterday they fired Vice President Ken Williams and General Manager Rick Hahn after what's been an awful season for the White Sox. 50-77 this year, 21 games back of the wild card. 21 games back from the division, 15 games back of the wild card. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games, and they have a negative 122 run differential. Really, from start of the season to now, this White Sox team has been awful. They were very early on picked as sellers at the deadline. They sold a little bit, but I don't think as much as some White Sox fans thought they would do. But now they're making some moves in the front office. It was also reported yesterday that they brought back Tony La Russa as a consultant for the team.
I mean, what's he doing at the consultant?
Who knows? Who knows?
Nothing.
Bringing him back.
I'll answer that.
The guys respect him. They got to bring back some respect in the locker room.
Sorry,
yeah,
that's disrespectful.
But it was also reported that Jerry Reinsdorf could try to move the team after the lease goes up. I believe 2029 is when that lease goes up, that they can move from outside of the south side of Chicago, maybe to a different part of Chicago, or maybe even sell the team and relocate it. Some people have said that Nashville could be a place that they move to. So really, in the next couple of years, I think we'll learn a lot about the future of the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, no kidding. Bringing Tony La Russa in as a consultant, that's excellent. He's going to do a lot as a consultant. Yeah. They let him do a lot as a manager. I'm sure he'll be able to accomplish a lot as a consultant. It's ridiculous. My top story of the day is what we've already been talking about. It's Shohei Ohtani going on the, not the IL, but not pitching for the rest of the year. Still hitting. That's what he does the best out of everything, too. And I wonder how that will affect his perception and the perception of what contract he'll get, because those numbers have obviously been wildly speculated since there's no hardline figures for what a guy like this can stand to make in the open market. There's never been in my lifetime, Brian, and yours either, a guy that pitches and hits like this. And so, that could lead to any number of different contract sizes. But now he's just going to hit, and we're going to get to see what that looks like. And it's going to be, I'm telling you right now, pretty much the same exact player. He's going to continue to drop tanks. The Angels are still probably not going to win a lot of games.
No.
And he's going to hit solo home runs or two-run home runs in the seventh inning, down 5 runs, better than anybody in the game.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, Steven Strasburg has announced that he is retiring from Major League Baseball at 35 years old, 3-time All-Star, 2019 World Series MVP and World Series champ, career 113 wins, only 62 losses, a career ERA of 3.24. I mean, an incredible career for Steven Strasburg. We all remember that 2019 season when the Nationals won it. He was 18-6 on the mound for the Nationals, but since then he's had trouble staying healthy. Since then he's only recorded 1 win and 4 losses in 3 years because of those injuries, not being able to stay on the field. But really, for a guy that was really on top of his game only a handful of years ago, it's really sad to see him retiring.
I'm trying to get Paul Himbo had a great stat earlier based on what you just said here. Let's see.
Himbo.
Here. Yeah, old sneaky Himbo. Well, I lost it already. Maybe no, he deleted it. He must have deleted the tweet. That's too bad.
That is too bad.
It was about what you just said. It was about him retiring, Steven Strasburg retiring, and what an unbelievable run he had to win the World Series for that team. It was truly one of the most remarkable feats of
watching him. You talk about some of the best pitchers in the game right now. He, in 2019, was the top of that list.
Quite frankly, I thought I was going crazy over here, not able to find the stat. But then I quickly looked at what date it was, and that was at July. I was like, he had to have deleted this. I saw him tweet this today, so I'm sorry about that. My not top story of the day is really a not top story of the day because the game didn't even take place today, Bryant. But I was watching another preseason football game today. Yeah. This is my second one to really lock into and study at an intimate level. And guess who I saw?
The Dolphins.
And?
The Texans.
With quarterback?
Davis Mills.
Under center, and I'm getting a look at the guy that I want the Titans to get coming on next year in the NFL. I think you're going to get a really good opportunity at a low-level contract, much like the way you got Ryan Tannehill as he's on his way out.
2 young guys, though, in there in
Screw
Tennessee.
Well, they stink.
Guess that's one answer.
They both stink. You ever seen either one of them play well?
But one of them has now a lifelong contract with mayonnaise.
That'd be Will Levis because he puts it in his coffee, correct?
Yeah, that's right. What a weird guy.
That doesn't equate to throwing the football downfield, right?
No, it doesn't.
And that guy stinks.
So what did you see from Davis Mills? Do you like what you saw today?
Oh, yeah. Now, they were down a lot, but he led a really good drive.
Football.
He led a really good drive that equated 3 points.
Wow.
How about that?
The Cowboys haven't won a preseason game yet. Is that affecting what I think of them as Super Bowl champions
Absolutely
this year?
Not.
No. It's preseason football.
Is there any team that it does affect your outlook? The Jets, because of Hard Knocks, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're good, man.
Last year it was the Lions. Everyone was, the Lions were better last year, so definitely. But I'll do it.
Which is like the first time that's ever happened, by the way.
Yeah,
Usually
really
you're always buying on what's happening on Hard Knocks, and it never comes true.
It never comes true. That'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk college football with Bill Bender.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte PE 659,993, MSRP 22,540, Nero P 501,5237, MSRP 41,390, EV6 P 560,3393, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. Hey, what's the scoop over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, we got deals everyone wants. How about 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, give me some EV scoop.
2023 Nero EV win, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $292 a month. And a 2023 Kia EV6 wins with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGe. Only $425 a month, both $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Dacus and Jay Morgan Harder with you. No Brett, but he'll be back on Monday. And joining us now to talk some college football from the Sporting News, Bill Bender joins us now. Bill, thanks so much for joining us after a long offseason, but a very eventful offseason with all of the conference realignment. And that's where I guess I'll start, because with these 4 remaining teams in the pack, it seems like every day we're getting more rumors, different rumors about what could happen for these 4 teams. But it's starting to look like the ACC possibility has come back up for Stanford and Cal and SMU. What do you think happens next to these 4 teams, and what's the likelihood in your mind for those 3 teams to get into the ACC?
Well, I mean, it's just been wild. Every time I think it's over, this happens again. And I think it's met with my understanding of this move, like looking big picture, is the ACC is just trying to survive and trying to prevent this college football landscape from becoming just the SEC and the Big Ten. And that's the true danger here. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to happen, because when Pete and Ross and Nicole Auerbach, they start this and saying if a vote happens, it's going to happen, I think there's a lot of smoke there.
Wow.
Bill, I wanted to ask you, I saw your review of Untold Swamp Kings, and I remember that time. I don't want to say fondly, but I do remember watching and enjoying the teams and the games, and I thought you had some really good points you made about some of their omissions from the documentary. If I can even call it that, quite frankly, it doesn't seem much as a documentary. I don't want to put words in your mouth. What did you make of the documentary, and what did you think exactly was the real underlying reason why they made this entire thing?
Well, okay, so it goes both ways. Like, I see the good, which is the Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer era was dominant.
Oh, yeah.
And when you watch that, you forget, like, man, those Florida teams were good. And, man, that 06 and 07 recruiting class was just ridiculously loaded. And Tebow, people have opinions on Tebow, and I just, nothing wrong with being an awesome person and an awesome player. I'll leave it at that. And Urban, obviously, people have their mind made up, but as far as a coach, third best winning percentage all time. But to your point, if you're watching that, you're not going to see a lot of Percy Harvin. You're not going to see anything on Aaron Hernandez or Cam Newton or, one of the things I stuck with me, it's not a huge omission, but they didn't have other SEC coaches talking about Urban Meyer. So there was no, like, Nick Saban's viewpoint on Urban Meyer. And those are the ones I always like to see is when, even with, like, Harbaugh and the 10-year war, like Michigan and Ohio State, they always have the other coach talking about the other program.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard a ton
I guess
of
you got
great reviews.
You did get Dan Mullen, but that doesn't really count because he was on the staff there.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was entertaining because I'm a guy that so I watched that. I watched the Manziel documentary, and I watched the HBO, and that's a little closer to home because that happened in Ohio, was the Bishop Sycamore documentary, which will, if you're a high school football guy like I am, it's infuriating. It's just absolutely infuriating to watch.
Well, I haven't watched that documentary yet. It came out yesterday on HBO. I haven't had a chance. I'm going to try to watch it tonight. But I remember when all of that happened just a couple of years ago, and the whole kind of nobody knew who this school was when the game happened. And then after it, just the immediate blowback and kind of the revealing of everything about this, and then kind of getting to this. I mean, how much do you learn about this situation in this school in this documentary?
And Bill, what was the tone of the coach?
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, guys, you're just going to have to watch it for yourself because it's absurd. And, I know you guys know this, in your state, the best high school football programs.
Sure.
And so, when that happened, I'll tell you from my viewpoint, when the actual game happened and they're like IMG Academy versus Bishop Sycamore, me and my buddies who all played high school ball together, and we know every good program in this state, we were texting back and forth. I was like, I've never heard of this school. What is going on? And as the score was piling up, we were just like, wow. And a personal story, my buddy coaches some ball up in Columbus, and he said this team just showed up at their park and started practicing, and they had to kick them out. And it turned out that was them.
Holy cow. That's incredible.
So it's just like you guys, of the three, and I think some of it is, you guys are college football fans like I am, and you remember watching Manziel, and remember watching Florida. This one was just something like, it probably told you more things that we don't know, and that's the whole trick of it. So it was fun, and all three of them got me ready for college football.
Sure. No, I'm really excited. I've seen the Manziel one. I need to watch Swap Kings, but I think tonight I'm going to watch the BS High documentary because I'm very excited to see that. But getting into some college football for this upcoming season, I do want to ask you about Alabama because that seems to be one of the most talked about programs, obviously because of this dynasty run by Nick Saban, but also the question mark at quarterback. How good do you think this team can be, and who do you think, maybe not week one for Alabama, but who's that starting quarterback week 2 against Texas?
Oh, I think, obviously that's what we're going to figure out. I think they're going to start Milroe off the bat because they know a little bit about what they have, but I could be wrong. I mean, I always go back to the year that they started Blake Barnett in the opener, then they went to Cornwell, and then, Jalen Hurts started the rest of the year. Because and something like that could happen where they catch Buckner or Simpson and go from there. But you're right. I mean, they better figure that out before week 2 because Texas knows who their starter is. And Texas, I think, has the confidence of knowing they played with Alabama for 4 quarters last year, and I think they know they can do it again.
Yeah.
Bill, I don't really have an allegiance to any particular team. Obviously, we live here in Tennessee, and so generally the Southeast, we watch a lot of SEC and stuff like that, but I'm really not partial to watching anything, not even major conference versus small conference. I'm really just looking for the best players. Who are some of like the most players that if they were inserted into the NFL right now, so not necessarily they have the intangibles and with some development they'll get there, if they were inserted into the NFL right now, you think they would make an impact in their first season?
Marvin Harrison, you would draft right away in fantasy football, I think. He's amazing. And, like, in a system where it's quarterback friendly and the receivers put up numbers. But, you know, when you have guys like Garrett Wilson 2 years ago saying Marvin Harrison's the best one, you know, and it's kind of coming true. So I think he would be amazing. I think Caleb Williams, Drake May, both going to be really good quarterbacks at the next level. You know, there's on the defensive side, Jared Verse at Florida State is a guy I'm excited to watch when they play LSU. So there are plenty of impact players out there. You know what I'm really excited to watch in week 1 is Deion Sanders, but I'm even more excited to watch Travis Hunter on the field.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, you just mentioned Marvin Harrison and Ohio being up there in Big Ten territory like you are. When you look at the Big Ten this year, a team like Ohio State that has Marvin Harrison, I've in the last couple of days have heard really good things from this Cornell Tate, the freshman receiver for Ohio State. But you look at Ohio State and all the weapons they haven't named a quarterback yet. Then you look at Michigan, Penn State getting some love in the first AP top 10. How competitive do you think the Big Ten will be at the top between those 3 teams, and who do you like out of that conference this year?
I mean, it's those 3. It feels like I'm back in high school, and it was the mid-'90s, and they were all 3. This is the first time in a long time all 3 have been right in terms of they are all 3 capable of going to the playoff and winning a game.
Wow.
And I've never been able to say that. So it's going to be fun. Ohio State's obviously loaded. Michigan, even though Jim got suspended for the first 3 games, I don't think it matters. I think they've got just a ridiculous offensive line and a belief in what they're doing. And this is probably Penn State's most talented team under James Franklin. And that is saying something because they had that Saquon Barkley team a few years ago. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to play it out. And, you know, we picked Michigan at Sporting News, but you really can't go wrong. I can't just say if you pick one of those 3 schools, I'm not going to fault you at all.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think we've talked to you since the incident at Northwestern that got Pat Fitzgerald fired. And now, I mean, just a terrible situation really with that whole athletic department with the football team, baseball team has gotten involved in it as well. What did you make of that whole situation, and what do you think of Northwestern on the field this year?
It's going to be brutal on the field because it's got to be hard because, you know, there's this sense, and the question I got a lot when this was going on was, you know, why haven't they fired the whole staff?
Yeah.
And it's a legit question.
Absolutely.
I mean, but, you know, the kids are going to play football for another year, and they'll probably clean the house after. But it's been a couple months now, and I still just dumbfounded by it because the hard part for me was when I talk to Pat Fitzgerald or talk to other coaches about Fitzgerald or talk to high school coaches about Fitzgerald, it was always one phrase, stand-up guy, awesome guy. And then this story happens, and you're wondering, well, how can that happen? And my overall takeaway from it is that a locker room for the rest of time needs to be like a professional workplace.
Yeah.
It's not something you or I can do at work. It's not something, and I know they're college kids, but it's not an excuse.
Absolutely. Last thing for you, Bill, before we let you go. I know a lot of people I've seen on social media, especially, I feel like half the people that I see tweeting about week 0, they're real excited for it, real excited for football to start. And then kind of the other half is, it's week 0. None of these teams really excite me. Just let me get to week 1. What are your thoughts on this kind of 7-game slate we have for week 0, and what game are you most excited about?
Well, if I could ask a third question at you, Bill, is what impact does Ireland have on college football?
Yeah, good one.
Well, it means a lot of people are going to drink a lot of beer. That's what that means. They did that last year. excited to watch Notre Dame. I mean, the easiest answer for me, I am most excited about my alma mater, Ohio University, playing San Diego State. And Curtis Rourke, for you football junkies out there, he's the brother of the Nathan Rourke, who's been lighting it up for the Jaguars. So excited to watch my Bobcats play. And I can say that because I went there. But Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, definitely going to watch that. And, you know, that first little jolt of excitement that you get from that game in Ireland is that, man, it's here. Football's on the field. We all love it. We're all excited about it. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, it should be a fun Saturday of games. Your Ohio team, do you think they can pull the upset against San Diego State?
I picked it, but, I mean, it could go either way. I mean, won their last 3 against Mountain West schools, but that is a big and physical San Diego State team that they're going to have to fly across the country and manage it. So, like I said, it's week 0. Everybody's 0-0. Anything can happen.
Ohio was good last year, weren't they? I recall winning a fair amount of money betting on the Bobcats last year.
Yeah, man. Here's a obscure stat for you. They have not won the MAC since 1968, but they did get there last year, and maybe this is the year. I'm hoping so.
Maybe so. It should be a really fun Saturday for every college football fan out there. But, Bill, thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy Saturday.
Thanks, Bill.
Hey, you guys are the best. Thanks so much for having me. Take care.
Thanks, Bill. Bill Bender from The Sporting News. You can follow him over on Twitter at BillBender92. And we didn't have time to get into it, but I did see over at The Sporting News he did pick every game against the spread for this Saturday. So if you need some picks, go over to The Sporting News and see what he's got over there.
He said we were the best. You think he says that to everybody?
He didn't deal with us long enough to realize what we really are. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk some NBA.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
My friends at Miramichi are always innovative. They've got a new thing going I think you're going to like. They have a staggered rate pertaining to what time of day it is. You can get a better price if you go in the later afternoon than you will in the morning or in the afternoon. From noon to 3, there is a $10 savings. There's about a $13 savings from 3 until close. You can't beat all of the innovations or the beauty at Miramichi. And folks are flocking. No longer can you get a membership. There's a waiting list, but that's how popular Miramichi has become. And why wouldn't it? You've got different levels of competition. You have 5 different tee boxes you can choose from ultra hard to ultra fun. The thing that's a constant is the beauty. The back 9 is like taking a walk through the woods with a meandering stream, and there's a waterfall you'll love. Everything about Miramichi is cool. Go check it out in Woodstock, 12 minutes north of downtown. It's Miramichi.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Whatever vehicle needs you may be wishing for, we've got you covered at Gossett Mitsubishi. 41 MPG Highway that can turn on a dime, that's 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $17,395 or $249 a month. 2024 Eclipse Cross combines luxurious styling with cutting-edge technology, generous cargo room, and versatility, $29,100 or $399 a month. And the powerful and fun to drive 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander, $29,580 or $499 a month. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
500 military rebate. G4 PH 006839. MSRP 17895. Cross RZ 000688. MSRP 29850. Outlander PZO 59809. MSRP 30080. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty.
Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. And Genesis is Memphis's home for the most sought-after jewelry designers in America. Thousands of styles from names like Tacori, Verragio, Henry Dawsey, Kirk Cara, Simon G, Christopher Designs, A. Jaffe, and more. Premium designer rings every woman dreams of. Handcrafted rings with intricate detail, extreme craftsmanship, and stunning artistic design. And not just rings. Genesis is home to a world-class selection of timeless and stylish fine jewelry and a killer selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. We can even custom design your dream piece as well. At Genesis, we're here to make your jewelry dreams come true. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar & Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Jim, when you brought up earlier that you watched the Dolphins and the Texans earlier
Big
today, and that you were enjoying watching Davis Mills.
D-Millie.
Right now,
Millie Rock on any block.
Right now, the Cowboys and the Seahawks are on NFL Network.
I saw that. They're already down. That's a shame.
Yeah, they just went down. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, I hope this wrist injury or this wrist surgery that he's having does not keep him out for long. This guy is electric. I'm a big fan.
An animal?
Already. I mean, you could say. I mean, this throw by Drew Lock, it's a little far. He has to adjust his body to make the catch over Trevon Diggs.
Well, how am I supposed to be impressed when
takes
you just
it for like a 40-yard touchdown?
We can't talk over each other.
What were you saying about Drew Lock?
I said, how can I be impressed if you tell me that the guy that threw it is Drew Lock?
You don't like Drew Lock?
No.
Why not?
Do you like Drew Lock?
I think he's a fine quarterback.
Do you really?
Fine backup.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just a year ago, we were having conversations about who should be the starter in Seattle, Geno or Drew Lock.
These are bad conversations.
But they were serious conversations.
Ridiculous.
Nobody knew.
Why? But that is not
such a great catch.
That is not a
credential.
credential. That is not like an accolade. That's not a credential. You know what I mean? The fact that a bunch of know-nothings and gas bags were talking about whether or not it should be Geno or Drew Lock is not a feather in the cap of Drew Lock.
I think it should be.
Why? We don't know anything. Clearly, look how good Geno was.
Put it on his Pro Football Focus page.
You think Geno repeats? That's a great question. Oh, this is radio right here, baby. You think Geno has a similar season?
Yeah.
I'll give you what's fair, plus or minus like 3% either way.
Sure.
Forget like even completion percentage, but like all the numbers. You know, like plus or minus like 3 across the board. Maybe 4.
I'll say plus.
No. Do you think that's my like
over.
That's your margin of error. I'm saying.
Oh.
You think he has a better season than he had last year?
I do.
That's crazy.
I think he has better weapons this year.
Well, that could be true.
I think the Seahawks will be better this year. I mean, you think about you just added a first-round receiver, so now you're gonna have if he can.
Yeah, but your baseline.
Healthy,
yeah, but your baseline can't be Geno. What you saw Geno play like last year.
No, I understand that.
Maybe it should be. I don't know. Maybe it's unfair to hold what I used to see from Geno against him.
Here's my thought process.
Probably is.
I think it is, but when I look at Geno,
so it's unfair to hold that against Joe Milton too. By the way, if that's what we're gonna play by, if those are the rules. If you're somebody that thinks Joe Milton is going to be bad, you also have to think Geno Smith is going to be bad.
Here's the way I view it.
If you're somebody that thinks Joe Milton's going to be good, you have to also think, like Bryant, Geno Smith will be this or better.
Here's the way I view it. And I'm just taking what I'm seeing. So it has nothing to do with this baseline of if you think he's good.
eye test.
Old eye test. When you look at what he did last year, the confidence he got in what he did last year, now you come back this year, you've got better weapons, you've got a running back that was a rookie last year and flashed some really good stuff that will now have another year under his belt. What's your quarterback's best friend?
What?
Your running back.
Oh.
What's your quarterback's second best friend?
Who? The center.
Tight end. Third best
his
friend.
hands in his butt.
Third best friend.
Has to be his second best friend. The wide receivers?
The wide receivers.
Where's the left tackle falling?
Well, he's like 7 or 8.
I think he's actually very close to the entire offensive line more than anybody.
I mean, you're probably right. He's buying them, thanks for protecting me. Here's a Rolex.
They go to like games together generally.
They'll go to dinner, yeah.
Games all the time.
You always see, whenever you see like a quarterback out at another sporting event, he's always a hockey game, and all the big old linemen are wearing the sweaters, and they're all into it. Yeah, no, always with their offensive linemen, but not his best friend. That's the running back.
I see.
They stand right next to each other every play. They're chit-chatting, gossiping.
Does that hold more weight than sticking your hands on someone's butt?
Very intimate relationship there between the quarterback and the center.
No, but I think. Can I just tell a quick story real quick as well?
Please.
So at some point in the conversation, I turned Siri on, and she only heard sticking your hands in someone's butt. And she responded to me, I don't know how to respond to that.
Great answer by Siri. I mean, have no words. But no, I do think I think Seattle's going to be better this year on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. So I think that in turn makes Geno a better player. I think when team's better, quarterback's better. Quarterback's better, team's better.
Yeah,
hand in hand.
Yeah, but you're dodging the question.
What's the question?
It's really about Geno.
Yeah, I think Geno's going to be better because I think he has better weapons around him.
You think it all goes together, do you?
All hand in hand. Seamless.
You might be very wise.
Also, you have a great head coach.
You might be wise beyond your years. I actually saw him in an interview today while I was sitting eating lunch. I saw a video of him talking to Richard Sherman about that last play call in the. Have you seen this video?
Oh, wait, really? I did not see this video.
About
what was
the
it
play
on?
call that led to Malcolm Butler's interception. God bless it, Brian. I don't remember. Maybe Instagram. I don't know. If it's anywhere, if it's one place, it's everywhere, right? I think you just Google Richard Sherman, Pete Carroll conversation, and something will pop up. But regardless, so they're talking about the play or whatever.
It was on Richard Sherman's show or his podcast.
Is that right?
On the Volume, yeah.
Is that what it was on? Mm-hmm. That's Colin Cowherd's
network, yeah.
Wow, and he's on before this show.
Yeah.
So I'm a good salesman.
Plug.
How about that? Free plug.
All right, so what were you saying?
Oh, yeah, they were talking about the last play, saying it was just such a, throwing a pass there. Mm-hmm. They had to, they had like 4 plays they were going to call. I didn't really understand what he meant.
Wait, so did he say he called the pass?
No, it came from upstairs, he said. It was based on a substitution that the Patriots made late. They already had 11 men on the field. So the Patriots made a substitution. They called the play upstairs. And they were going to run. They had 4 plays they were going to run.
Right.
They wanted to get 4 shots at a touchdown.
Sure.
And one of them had to be a pass, they said. And so because if they're going to do 4, one of them had to be a pass.
Right.
And you don't expect the worst possible thing that could ever happen to happen. And that sure is what happened.
Wow. I feel like I remember like Sherm or somebody saying that, or like trying to blame like that they had called a run and then they
that's
audible
what
to
he
a pass.
Said. Came from upstairs.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Because the Patriots substituted late.
Interesting. Okay.
That's the part I missed.
Yeah.
And we just put 2 and 2 together.
How about that? So
Oski, no, that's an interception. Well, it was an interception. It wasn't Omaha Oski.
I guess you're right. But no, and did you see Pete Carroll last week throwing no-look passes to receivers at practice?
Come on, man.
Pete Carroll's awesome.
Old man throwing the ball.
I love Pete Carroll. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of this first hour. When we come back, we'll talk some NBA with Keith Smith.
Attention, everyone. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. Let me say that again. Family Leisure is needing your help to clear out their inventory. And to do so, there are tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools are $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pools for less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Hey, if you need patio furniture, they have patio furniture that's now up to 30% off. Spas are in stock. They're up to $1,200 off. Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. 24 months, same as cash financing, is now available through this sale. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory, so come and do your part at Family Leisure. Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Make this the summer sales event is still going strong at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Get ready to ride in your new 2023 Dodge Charger SXT. We Gossett $29,990 or $425 a month. Got some hauling to do? We Gossett covered in 2023 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Tradesman 4x4, $39,990 or $579 a month. Or how about some employee pricing from Gossett on all Jeep Gladiators? 2023 Jeep Gladiator Sport 4-door 4x4 now just $669 a month. And if we don't have it, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
500 down. Charger PH 508,657. MSRP 35,930. Ram PN 671,333. MSRP 48,390. Jeep PL 561,602. MSRP 54,655. Must finance through Chrysler Capital. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
There's only one place for great steaks, real Italian cuisine, Southern-style meats, and fresh vegetables. It's Fratello's. Fratello's Italian Steakhouse in Hernando has a family feel and a fantastic menu. Voted DeSoto's best new restaurant in 2022, Fratello's has your favorite cuts of prime steak, lamb, and pork, along with delicious Italian dishes. And nothing is better for lunch than Southern-style meats and veggies. All your favorites and more are waiting for you at Fratello's Italian Steakhouse, Highway 51 in Hernando.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Dacus, Jay Morgan Harder with you. No Brett. He'll be back next week, but join us now from Spot Track to talk about the NBA. Keith Smith joins us now. You can follow Keith at Keith Smith NBA on Twitter. Keith, thanks so much for joining us. I feel like every week we have you on, there's something new with James Harden. I feel like we're always talking about James Harden this offseason, and we got some more information over the last week. He was fined $100,000 by the NBA, and we learned that he called Daryl Morey a liar because he claims that he didn't trade him quickly, like he says Daryl Morey said before, I guess, he signed this extension earlier this offseason. So kind of with all of this new information, it seems like the 76ers don't want to trade him. They expect him to be at training camp to start the year. It doesn't seem like James Harden really wants to do that. Where do you see this going?
Yeah, I continue to believe he'll get traded. I just can't imagine, a month or so from now when we're getting ready to do media day, that Philadelphia is going to want, James Harden still on the roster and a million questions about him. And if that's the case, they'll issue a blanket, hey, we're not going to talk about James Harden today, no questions about that, and no one's going to listen to it, and everyone's going to ask questions anyway, right? So plus, you just don't want to start the season that way, right? If you're going to have a different kind of roster in there, you want to be able to hand Nick Nurse, brand new coach to the team, hey, here's your roster, let's go, and let's be able to spend this first couple weeks here before the season starts, getting guys in roles and figuring out your rotations and all that good stuff that goes along with all that. So I got to believe they're still going to trade him, but I mean, they're pretty dug in right now. So it may not be, something that resolves itself anytime soon.
How about this? You kind of two schools of thought here, Keith. Some people love the drama of the offseason. I love the talking of the offseason. Steph Curry has just proclaimed he is the greatest point guard of all time. Where do you stand on that stance, and do you think he's right?
Yeah, it's weird. Positions are so nebulous in the NBA now. Steph Curry is, sure, I guess he's a point guard, but it's not really what he does, right? He's not the chief playmaker for the Warriors. He's much more of a scorer. And I know, everybody's kind of saying, well, is he better than Magic Johnson? Comparing the two of those guys, that's, apples and oranges to what their game was. Magic was a playmaker. It was, hey, set the offense, get guys set up. Not that he couldn't score. He was a great scorer when he had to be. Steph is, Steph's a great scorer, can be a great playmaker when he needs to be. But it's, one of those things where I tend to look at it more of, all right, are you one of the best players of all time? Yeah, absolutely. The best point guard of all time? I don't know. That's kind of splitting hairs a little bit. And, I guess maybe, I'm not entirely sure. And I also like to, let's write the whole book on the career before we have those conversations. Yeah. Let's see what's to come. Because if, they win another title and, he has a couple more 30, point game or, close to 30 point per game seasons in him, yeah, maybe Steph is the greatest point guard of all time. That's a conversation to be had then.
Keith, I'm truly so sorry. I don't mean to pin you down at all, and I'll absolutely drop it after this too. But I love this conversation too. So let's say if I took them both in the past, like at the beginning of their careers, and I made Keith Smith the GM of team whatever, or you could be GM of the Celtics. How about that? And you got your chance to pick one of those two guys at the beginning of their careers. Which one would you take?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at riding the fence. So my question back to you is going to be, what's the rest of my roster like?
Oh, that's great! They're your first pick. You're starting at the very beginning. They're your first pick. How about that?
So I have nobody else on my roster.
Nobody yet. They're the first ones.
I'm probably going to go Steph because I think I can have Steph as my key guy that then I can build everything else to orbit around him a little bit, more so than I can with Magic, but again, that you're making me split hair.
Yeah, that's right. I like that.
That's great. I saw earlier today, I think it was an ESPN Plus article that ESPN put out today, kind of previewing the Western Conference and how they see it shaking up. And a lot of people here locally in Memphis kind of took offense to it because they had the Grizzlies sitting at in the 8th seed behind Oklahoma City, that was in 7th, and then right behind them Dallas and Minnesota. For you, Keith, when you kind of look at the Western Conference this year, I feel like every year we go in talking about how great the West is going to be and all of this talent in the Western Conference. Where do you see the Grizzlies finishing?
Yeah, it's not for me. I don't know that the West is like great in that. There have certainly been years that it's been this way, but I don't know if this is a year where it's like, man, 5 of the 6 best teams are in the West. But what I think it is it's very compact, and I think for Memphis, their challenge is going to be they're going to play roughly a third of the season without John Morant, and probably ultimately maybe even half the season if we factor in time he could miss due to injuries and the like, because that's just something that kind of happens. So I think that's a little bit of their challenge. Why maybe some folks are down on them, but I think if they can get through that first 25 games and they're hey, we're above water and we're doing okay. They're definitely a team I could see being in the top 4 in the conference again, because I think they've got that kind of team. I think getting Marcus Smart is one of those things where, because it happened, now almost 2 months ago, and we're all kind of we're moving into other conversations in that. I think it's been a little bit forgotten, and I think that was such a great pickup for them, because now they're going to be in a position where he can start at the point guard spot, and then when John Morant eventually is back, he'll move into kind of playing Dylan Brooks' role, and I think ultimately in a lot of ways maybe even better than what Dylan Brooks played it. So I think they've got enough to get through that first part of the season. Question is going to be, hey, who's the guy when there is 5 minutes left and it's a tie game? Who are we putting the ball in the hands of? I think everybody says, well, that's Desmond Bane now, and you're probably not wrong, but that's going to be a question that needs to be answered a little bit. And I was just kind of going through that schedule today, looking through where were we at? Probably 500-ish in that first 25 games. 13 and 12, 12 and 13. There's definitely some winnable ones in there, but there are some really tough games in there, especially tough road games.
Keith, a former Grizzly that they'll be missing this year, notably absent from your roster analysis of the Grizzlies, is Dylan Brooks. And I saw he made news. I saw it this morning, earlier today, I guess. I don't know if it started circulating yesterday or not. I'm not sure when, but he's making the rounds, as it were, talking about how he thinks he's one of the elite defenders in the NBA, and how he's getting to LeBron and things of that nature like that. Do you think he's got this notoriety now and he's riding it for all it's worth? What do you make of those comments, and do you think it could come back to hurt him in some way over the course of his Rockets career? A team that I don't know if you think they're going to get discernibly better, but wasn't very good last season, to say the least.
Yeah, my first thought is, funny, must not have lost the playoff game. That's why he's talking to the media now. He's perfectly willing to give an interview now to not ducking out on his obligations. So that's one of my big issues with Dylan Brooks is he's starting to become one of those guys who he's like the bully on the playground. He's going to talk a whole lot, then he gets punched in the mouth and he runs away and you don't hear from him anymore. So now to be fair to him, I have no problem. I think a big reason that Houston signed him was they wanted someone to come in with some attitude and a little bit of brashness and a little bit of, hey, we got this. We can compete with the Lakers and the Nuggets and all those teams. We're on this level, and part of why we're on this level is because I'm here and I'm ready to, kind of bring you there. And I think that's something that roster can use. They don't have a lot of guys who are going to step up and do that. And, of course, they obviously wanted to improve their defense, and they did that quite a bit with him and Fred VanVleet. Those guys are two very good, solid defensive players. Now, going to make the Rockets appreciably better. They'll be better. I don't know how much that'll show up win-loss record-wise, just because the conference is tough. It's, a lot of teams are going to be pretty good, but I think they're going to be a team. You're not going to see them playing these games where they have 25 turnovers and, 15 defensive blown assignments, per night and those kind of things. I think you'll see them in a spot where they're playing much better basketball, even if it doesn't always result in wins. But, Dylan Brooks, it's one of those things where, you've kind of made a name for yourself and, Dylan Brooks and all this other stuff that you want to be. Ride that wave, I guess, as long as you can.
So you just mentioned the Houston Rockets kind of being a younger team and kind of adding some veteran players to that roster. When you look in both the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, who's one team maybe from each conference that you expect to take the biggest jump this year?
Yeah, I think in the West, it's probably Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. I think they were pretty good last year. They made the play-in tournament. I think getting Chet Holmgren back, the one thing they didn't have was a really good scoring big, and now they're going to have that on the roster. And then you can just look at it and you can see, well, this guy's young, he'll probably get better. This guy's young, he'll get better. This one too. And next thing you know, you're at like 7, 8 guys. You're like, I can see them all improving, and they're going to add Holmgren to the mix. So I think they're going to be a really good, solid team. I would not be surprised if they do, push their way into that top 6 in the conference. I'll give you a kind of second one in the West is Utah. I think they have a chance to be in pretty good too. They were kind of in it till the end of the year, and Lauri Markkanen took a step forward. I think John Collins is going to be a really nice addition for them. In the East, as younger teams that are stepping forward in the East, I think Indiana has a chance of being pretty good this year. I think they've got a lot of pieces in place, and if Halliburton, it's tough to say stays healthy because a lot of it was they shut him down because they were like, we're not going anywhere. Let's get some better draft positioning here. But if he's on the floor, they're going to be tough. They're going to be really good. And I think Orlando is going to take major steps forward this year as well. I think that's a team. A lot of people are kind of looking at the overall with them. They went 5-20 to start the year because they had no healthy guards. If we go back, they were playing games. Their starting backcourt in some of their games was Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, who were ideally they're 3 and they're 4 on the roster. So they're in a position this year where they're probably going to have a much more balanced team. And once they got those guards healthy and that roster kind of came together, they went over their final set of games. They went 500. They were a game over 500 down the stretch. So I think they have a chance at being a pretty good team that I think some people might be overlooking a little bit.
That's interesting you say that, too, because that was one of the biggest things I was concerned about. You specifically what you mentioned about Franz Wagner playing a little bit of the 3 and 4 with Paolo there as very much bigger than they probably anticipated being in that way. The Jazz kind of did something with moving Lauri Markkanen into the 3-2 last year, and I didn't think that was going to work necessarily because I just had never seen him in that role before, but that worked incredibly well to the role of Lauri Markkanen having the best season I think he's had in his entire career.
Yeah, you're definitely, easily the best season he's had, and I think, one other thing too, and I'll put, Lauri Markkanen was kind of one of the guys who did this a year ago in the Eurobasket. He played great and really led Finland to a much better performance in that tournament than kind of what a lot of people saw coming. And a lot of times these guys use these, off-season international, the national team duties to kind of launch themselves forward into a big NBA season. And I think a guy like Franz Wagner could do that. I think that Germany team is tough. They played Team USA really, really tough before they kind of ran out of gas against them, which is that's what happens when you play Team USA. You can hang for 30 minutes. It's getting to the full 40 is where it gets a little tricky on some of the teams. They just don't have the athletes to kind of do it. But I think, Franz Wagner is a guy who could use this to really propel himself forward. But overall, you're definitely seeing some teams kind of everybody is, zigged towards the small ball. Now they're zagging towards a couple of teams are hey, if our best guys are three bigs, we're going to find a way to play them all. The key is it's not like the NBA I grew up on where, I remember the New York Knicks starting Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, and Charles Smith together, and nobody wanted to shoot outside of the free throw line. And it was like, all right, well, I guess we're going to pack the paint. That's what would happen now, and to be a mess. As long as, one or two of those bigs can step out, knock down jumpers, you can get away with it, and you can actually create some matchup advantages for yourself.
I'm really glad you brought up international basketball too, Keith, because I very much am excited to watch the World Cup coming up here, and that starts the 25th. So that's tomorrow, yeah. So that'll start
tomorrow, yep.
So tomorrow, and very early in the morning, our time, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. where we are locally, Central Time, 4 a.m. Eastern. So really early in the morning. USA doesn't play till Saturday. You mentioned some other players so far. You also mentioned the USA team. What's your breakdown of some of these teams? Who are some players that you're watching for, some teams you're looking for, and what's the most exciting games on your docket in the early slate of games?
Yeah, obviously I'm going to be all in on Team USA, and this is my chance to kind of be that ugly American and go crazy rooting on my country. I'm going to root on my country in anything that they play. But other guys I'm looking at, I tend to focus a little bit more on the NBA guys. And like I said, guys like Franz Wagner who are going to play a big role in can he use that to kind of boost him forward in this tournament. But, Germany's going to be pretty tough. Canada, they've been coming. Now, they don't have their full slate of guys, but they've got a lot of NBA guys. They're going to be tough. They play France in the opener tomorrow morning. I believe it'll be, I think it's going to be 7:30 in the morning, your time, if I remember right, maybe 8:30, something like that. But they're going to be, that's going to be a good one. That's probably the best opening game here in the first couple of days between those two teams. Those are two teams that are hoping to, get into the Final Four of this World Cup and really, make the push. So that's going to be a good one. Australia and Finland play early in the morning. That's a 4 a.m. tip Eastern. And, again, Finland, Lauri Markkanen's kind of their guy. Yeah. And then that Australia team, they're loaded with NBA talent, guys who are in the NBA. Tons of guys on that team, really experienced. That's another team that thinks, hey, we can get in to the Final Four of this tournament. Team USA, they should breeze through group play. They're going against teams that the only other NBA player in their group is Thanasis Antetokounmpo for Greece, with Giannis sitting it out as he's recovering from the knee injury. And New Zealand doesn't have any NBA guys. They're going to suit up Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. If you remember him, he's going to be playing for Jordan. But he is, somebody who's not in the NBA right now. So they should get through group play, and then it'll get a little bit harder from there. But those are some of the teams and, guys that we'll be watching to see, all right, are they ready to kind of take this next step?
You mentioned Australia in there, too, with Josh Giddey. I've been seeing clips of Josh Giddey all over the internet. Not only stuff he does on offense, which is prolific, the way he passes the ball away, does everything. His defense is incredible. I saw possessions he is switching onto all five guys over the course of one shot clock, kind of bringing it full circle. You were talking about the Thunder earlier and them making a huge step in the Western Conference. You think Josh Giddey is certainly central to a lot of that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. The Thunder last year, they played, four wings and guards around one big man. And that one big man was often a guy like Jalen Williams, the big Jalen Williams, or Alexei Pokusevski, or, just other guys they'd kind of plugged in there, Mike Muscala, when they still had him. But they really played a lot of their wings, and Josh Giddey's size and ability to play, really anything 1 through 4 and hold his own against some of the smaller fives. That was a big part of it. The wing guard, Jalen Williams, the other rookie Jalen Williams they have, which the NBA should make a rule on that. You can't have two.
Yes.
Somebody's got to change a name or something here. But they, he was also a big part of their ability to play those. And then you got, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, very good size for his position. Lou Dort is one of those guys. He's kind of like Mark Smart, where he's only about 6'3", 6'4", but he's strong. He's very rugged. He can defend up. So yeah, I think Josh Giddey's, a really good player. And I think the one thing that holds him back from kind of being that guy where you're like, yeah, he's an all-star, he's coming, is his jump shot. It really, I would say it
so
comes
ugly.
and goes, but it's like it's like a comet. It shows up once every 5-6 games and then it's gone. For the next month or so, and then we'll see. But yeah, I think he's a really good one in that Thunder team. They've got a lot of talent in that group.
Yeah. Well, for Team USA, we've heard a lot of good things about Jaren Jackson Jr. I know it's getting a lot of Grizzly fans excited about what he could be for this team next year after kind of this experience at the international level. But when you look at Jaren, I've seen some people already putting out their predictions for postseason awards, and I've seen a couple of people say Jaren could go back-to-back for Defensive Player of the Year. What do you think his chances are for that? And is there anything defensively for Jaren that you would like to see him improve on this year?
I'll answer the second part first. And he's getting better on this all the time. Just get rid of the dumb fouls. The fouls that are 85 feet from the basket, can't have those anymore, especially not in the first part of the season where he has to be the team leader, right? He's got to be kind of out there helping setting his own and those kind of things. And this sounds really silly to say for a guy who's trying to win defensive accolades, but being a really good, solid offensive player, it does help in that. Like, it shouldn't, right? We should evaluate it on its own. But, a lot of times teams, people do kind of look at it, and you'll even hear, like, I remember when Marcus Smart won it 2 years ago every conversation was, oh, you're so great defensively, and they'd rattle off, 15 defensively, and he's a really good playmaker, too, on offense. And it's like, shouldn't have anything to do with it, but it does. But, I think, for Memphis, they're going to have to build everything's going to have to be defense first for them, and it always kind of has been. Because you have to really be this year to start the year and really lock in. And if they can be, if we come out of those first 25, like, holy cow, this team is, let's say they go 15-10 or better, and then we're like, they are the best defense or one of the best in the league, that's going to propel him forward all the way to the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, it should be a lot of fun tomorrow morning as we get these World Cup games started. I don't think I'll be up early enough to watch those 3:30, 4 o'clock tips, but I'll be able to maybe watch some of those later games in the morning. But, Keith, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, Keith.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Keith. Keith Smith from Spot Track. He joins us every week to talk some NBA. You're excited about the World Cup. I didn't know if you were going to be that excited about the World Cup.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, it should be fun. Now, I don't like that, most of the games are happening in the wee hours of the morning.
Not most of them.
A lot of them are. I think the latest tip times are like 7 a.m., 8 o'clock in the morning. 9:30 our time or 9:30?
9:30, so 8:30.
Yeah, that's early.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So.
You're not up by 8:30 on a weekday?
No, I am, but, if I can only see the last slate of games, like...
Well, maybe you go to bed a little bit earlier right now if you're really a hoops fiend, and you get up early, watch a little hoops.
I think I'm a sleep fiend more.
Angola versus Italy at 3 a.m. Finland, Australia is going to be a great
game.
Be a good game.
Australia,
I'm telling you, Josh Giddey is killing it.
And that team, Josh Giddey's great. That team's loaded.
Yeah, no, they are. Patty Mills was on that team.
Mills on that team. So yeah, I like,
Latvia, Lebanon.
I'm learning Italian, so I'll root for Italy.
Germany, Japan, like Keith said, that'll be a good one. Egypt, Lithuania.
Who does
Canada versus France?
Who does America play? That's Saturday though, right? That's
Saturday. They play New Zealand.
Also, the Dominican Republic plays tomorrow. Lester Quinones will be
DR
playing.
plays the Philippines.
And Cat is with the DR now.
How about
I think
that?
Towns is playing with the Dominican
How
Republic.
about that?
So they could be a sleeper team. So that should be fun tomorrow. But let's go ahead.
So Cat and Lester, new best friends?
New best friends, maybe. Maybe Cat and Lester
like MJF and Adam
linking
Cole
up later. Yeah, I guess so.
Do you think so?
Maybe.
Okay.
Probably not,
All
but
right.
maybe. Who knows? Best shooter on the team, best big man on the team.
Greatest wrestler of all time? Other guy?
Yeah, let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the latest news from NFL preseason.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So you've decided to get yourself some culture and go to the Orpheum to see a Broadway show. Well, why stop there? Thanks to a partnership with the Orpheum, 117 Prime, Memphis' premier downtown dining destination, is offering the Orpheum pre-show menu. 3 courses just right before enjoying a Broadway show. Choose from a Caesar salad or French onion soup to start, a 7-ounce flank steak or pan-seared salmon for your entree, and top it off with carrot cake for dessert. If you're an Orpheum Perks member, you can get a special price. All this culture and great food thanks to the Orpheum at 117 Prime.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine. People are loving this amazing new store. It's more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. I'm telling you, the selection at Genesis is mind-blowing. One of the largest selections of certified diamonds in the United States. From a half carat to 20 carats, rounds, princess cuts, ovals, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, both natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, all at prices guaranteed anywhere in America. Plus, Genesis has brought a new level of quality to Memphis with exquisite handcrafted designer jewelry you won't find anywhere else. They've got over 1,000 designer engagement rings. It's mind-blowing when you walk in. Rings, bands, earrings, pendants, bracelets, case after case of unique, one-of-a-kind jewelry. Up to 30 times what you find at ordinary stores. Discover Genesis Diamonds, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open in Poplar Commons at Poplar & Perkins Extended, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code STRONG for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STRONG for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code STRONG.
You want the hottest summer deals in the Mid-South? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 41 MPG Highway, we got it in 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing. Get SUV action in 2023 Nero EV Wind. 253 miles of EPA estimated range. $292 a month, $49.99 due at signing. Or 2023 Kia EV6 Wind with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE. Only $425 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte PE 659,993, MSRP 22,540, Nero P 5015237, MSRP 41,390, EV6 P 560,3393, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties are limited. Powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over and unders, and a lot more. So visit FanDuel.com/sports56. Promo code sports56 and kick off the NFL season with FanDuel. Official partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable. Bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
So we got 2 NFL preseason games tonight. One on Amazon Prime as they do their dress rehearsal tonight. We also have a CBS game tomorrow night as they'll do their dress rehearsal. I don't think the other game might be on NFL Network. I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, it looks like the other one's going to be on NFL Network tonight. So 2 games tonight. But I wanted to bring this up yesterday, and we didn't have a chance. Have you seen the supposed new rules that Kevin Stefanski has implemented with their joint practices?
No, tell me about them.
So because obviously, every time you have a joint practice, especially on Hard Knocks, anytime there's a joint practice on Hard Knocks, you got to have the pushing and shoving, the fights break out, or the too many whistles, everything like that.
Yeah.
That happens.
You're not going to look weak on camera.
Absolutely not. But
everybody knows it's on Hard Knocks.
Right. So, but that happens a lot at joint practices. It's just high energy, and it gets a little chippy at times. So, Kevin Stefanski has a new rule if there's fights in joint practices. If it involves a starter, they now have to play in the upcoming preseason game. If it involves a backup, they now cannot play in the next preseason game. So, trying to get them to not want to fight.
Interesting.
Starters aren't going to want to play in those preseason games, and the backups need to play in those preseason games so they can keep a spot on the roster.
Wait, why does Kevin Stefanski have to do with Hard Knocks?
He doesn't.
Oh, I thought you said Hard Knocks.
No, I just brought up the fact that anytime there's a joint practice in Hard Knocks, there's fights. Every time. Every single time. Let's get away from it. Let's try something new. Let's get a little original. I don't need to see a fight in every joint practice.
It's not produced content.
I understand, but we don't have to put it in every year or make it such a big deal every year. We get it. Pushing and shoving happens at joint practices. I don't need 5 minutes of an episode dedicated to all the pushing and shoving happening at practice. Except Kyle Trask in this week's episode
I don't want to watch.
asking for a flag during a fight the entire time the fight was going on. He was asking the ref for a flag, which was hilarious.
I don't like your version of Hard Knocks.
Why not?
It's not very. I don't like it. It just doesn't seem like.
That's the only thing I've said about Hard Knocks that I would change.
And you also like it, focusing on the stars versus
I never said that.
the fringe players.
I did not say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I put words in your mouth.
I said that it's different this year because of that, and that it's the way they're doing it. I like. I don't want it to be like that every year, but I'm fine with it.
Pick away. You have to pick one. There can only be one.
Then I like the fringe guys.
Good. Okay, you're back in my good graces.
Man, good Lord! You just wanted to.
Well,
hold me to the stake a second ago.
Sometimes you have to get answers out of people.
But can you even trust me now? Because I'm a liar, and you might be lying now.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to stick someone. Never mind.
Sure you don't want to finish that?
Yeah, I was going to make a waterboarding joke. It just seems like it's in poor
maybe
taste.
not. Nah, maybe not. No, but I'm sorry. I just don't like all the. It's like every year in Hard Knocks, you get like a 5-minute segment in one episode where we talk about all the fights at joint practices, and it's very theatric, and you know they slow it down, and you see like the slow mos of guys pushing each other and grabbing helmets and everything. I get tired of it.
I think you're in the minority, Bryant.
You think so?
I really much do.
I mean, it's cool or whatever, but like it's every year
or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. It's
So, like,
fine.
Stop with the
Whatever.
Fast and Furious. It's we've seen enough Fast and Furious. Are you one of these people?
No, I've only seen one Fast and Furious, so I can't determine if they're all alike or not.
Okay, poor example. I can't think of anything else.
Something
Essentially,
new.
say, don't mess with the classics, man.
So that's like a staple in Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I want to see. Well, I
fights
mean,
in joint practice.
people are fighting. That's a staple of football. We're at war, brother. This is the trenches out here.
You might be right about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to look at myself
Disrespect
in the mirror.
me? Disrespect me? I don't know.
Maybe I need to look at myself in the mirror and
Remember when DeAndre Hopkins broke the dude's ankle?
yeah.
That was a great season. The Texans year.
That was a really good season.
Real good one.
I like this one. I think this one's really good.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is friends with everybody. I've not seen him once introduce himself to somebody or like act like he doesn't know a person. He's friends with everybody.
Dude.
Everybody he walks by he's like, "Hey man, I haven't seen you in years." Every single person. Literally everybody.
Okay. When you're Aaron Rodgers, you don't introduce yourself to anybody.
No, I know, but it's not even like it's not even like he hasn't met these people before. Like every single person he interacts with, he's like, "Oh man, I haven't seen you in like 2 years, man. How you been? How's the kids? How's the family?" I'm like, "How do you know all these people?"
That seems fairly disingenuous to me. I don't know.
I mean, probably is, but it just seems like he.
I mean, that's just like that. Isn't that like celebrity stuff? Like you walk through and like you associate, you know that somebody is here, or they tell you that they know you, and you're like, oh yeah. Like when you're a certain level of celebrity, I think that's what you do. People come up to you and you have to act as though to be polite. That means a lot to them, this interaction. You can't say, I'm sorry, man, don't remember
These are
you.
NFL players. Who cares?
But it's not just, and Aaron Rodgers is not just an NFL player.
No, I understand, but he's interacting with NFL players. He doesn't have to be like buddy with
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, you mean I thought it was like security guards.
No.
and
These
folks.
are like other players on other teams.
Oh, I see.
Like he's going up to like in the fight, he's like he's walking up to people and like putting his arm around their shoulder. Man, we're too old for this. And then he's like patting him like, I haven't seen you in a couple of years. How's the wife?
Oh, a couple wily vets, man. Of course they know each other.
But it's everybody. On the field, off the field, like everybody he comes in contact with, he knows.
I'll take your word for it.
Maybe just watch the season, Jay.
Yeah,
How about that?
I haven't seen it.
How about that?
I haven't seen it.
And Jerry Jeudy was called.
I'm getting to him.
I don't believe you. Because
I'm getting to him.
Why would you go back and watch it once the season starts?
I don't know.
You know everything that's happened then. I mean,
I'm getting to him.
I don't think you're getting to him. I think you're going to skip out on this season.
I'm getting to him.
Jerry
I skipped out on the Browns season.
That was how many years ago now? A couple of years, 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years. Skipped out on Browns season. Sure did.
Didn't like that one?
I just wasn't feeling it.
Did you at least try it, or did you just
didn't
like...
even watch it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, just didn't watch it that year. And
Interesting.
I haven't watched it this year. There's a lot going on right now. We got obscure sports happening this offseason.
What?
Like the NBA going to FIBA, the World Cup
the
going
World
on
Cup,
there.
Yeah.
Messi has suddenly come to America. Who could have perceived that?
Messi America?
Who could have
America
predicted
Messi?
that, I guess I should say?
Yeah. I did see that...
Major League Baseball is back with capital BACK. I couldn't have predicted that. Could you have?
Nah.
Exactly. So,
Absolutely not, especially with the way everyone was talking about the
So,
rule
there's a lot of
changes for the
factors
season.
that go into whether or not I'm going to watch Hard Knocks this year, and those are the ones that go into this year, and there's a lot of stuff. I'm watching a lot of wrestling, AEW. That's 3 episodes a week. Big Brother has just started because they moved it to the fall
You just
instead
got
of
a
the
full
summer.
slate.
I got too much-ish, you know what I mean?
Too much?
Back to you, Bryant.
Some updates, I guess, from practices. Jerry Jeudy was carted off this morning. He's expected to miss a couple of weeks, which really hurts that Broncos wide receiver group. Also, I am seeing different reports that the Dolphins are a big favorite to land Jonathan Taylor.
I did see that. That's crazy.
And so much so that Jonathan Taylor and his agent are saying that that's like team number one when they go to the Colts, and they're going to say, we want you to do everything in your power to trade me to Miami.
Isn't that crazy, man?
It's insane.
That's crazy.
That offense could be unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Tua stays healthy. You get Jonathan Taylor back there. That's a dangerous offense.
Trust Mike? You trust Coach McDaniel?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing we were talking about earlier with Geno. It's like I saw last year what that offense looked like.
Well, that's trusting Tua. That was a whole different question.
Well, no, I mean, that's trusting
all of it
offense.
together, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
And trusting his team. I mean, the defense was a little shaky.
And imagine if they could run the ball more this year than they did last year. Buddy.
Couldn't run the ball last year.
Not very much.
Everything was through the air.
But, one running back does not. I mean, they got I forget who else. Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
And there's somebody else. I forget.
Yeah, there's another
That's
guy
not very good for radio to forget
Kenyon
things.
Drake down
I'll
there
look it
still?
up.
No, Kenyon Drake's not still
I don't
with
believe
them.
so. I think last
Kenyon
year was
Drake
only
was with them 3 years ago.
You know what, man? I'll just look it up.
I've also heard the Eagles are in on Jonathan Taylor. They're interested in his work.
Screw him.
Which I would hate. Oh, you want to talk about anything other
that
than
would-
sending him to the Eagles? What team I'm on.
He goes to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts becomes a much better MVP candidate.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And the Eagles become a 10 times better team that can beat the Cowboys.
Well, that's true as well.
So that's number one reason why I'm team
10 times better?
10 times.
He's 10 times. He improves the team by 10 times?
Yeah. Maybe even 11 if you really
11 times?
hold me to the
That's
fire.
a very obscure number. 11.
Yeah.
After a lot of time, I have finally found the Dolphins depth chart. Jeff Wilson is still on the roster, so he's the second running back.
Yeah. Interesting. So, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully this is, something that it seems like this is starting to move quickly. It seems like, what did I say yesterday, 6 teams have reached out. 2 teams have made official offers to the Dolphins.
And fullback Alec Ingold.
Wow. Now that's the X factor right
Very much so.
But hopefully this is something that moves quickly. This isn't something that kind of lingers. I know we talked yesterday about we seem to like the way this is going, where it seems they are telling Jonathan Taylor, like, you figure out like where you want to go and we'll try to get you there. But it also sounds like his relationship with Jim Irsay is so bad right now that people are saying like they don't even know if they can be in the same building together.
He hypothetically killed him.
And hypothetically killed himself. So
well, that's true.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
What is that? Murder-suicide. It took me that long. Between that pause in there was me trying to think of all I could get was triple homicide, and I knew that wasn't right.
That's not right.
It took me that long to think of.
Well, at least you got there.
Murder-suicide.
I'm glad you got there. Let's go to a break. When we come back, it will be time for Big Number of the Day.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hey folks, Ryan McElroy here with Sunrise Buick GMC. I know the temps are going up, but the prices are dropping here at the Sunrise Super Summer Sale. Huge selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Discounts up to $6,500 and a $12 million used car inventory. If you're not 100% happy with your car, don't pay another penny on it. Top dollar for trade-ins, or we'll just buy it from you. Bad credit, slow pay, bankruptcy, it's okay at Sunrise. Call, click, or come on in to any of the 3 Sunrise locations here in town. Covenant Pike, Wolf Chase, or Carnival, come check us out at sunrisememphis.com. We make it fun to buy a car.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
What happens to former real estate agents when they want to sell their homes? This is Sheldon Rosengarten, actually Shell Dunn, with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I am so proud and feel so honored when former real estate agents contact me when they want to sell their homes. They know that I've been in the business for quite a while, have a great deal of experience, and know that I am good at marketing, not merely putting a sign in the yard and hoping it sells. Over the years, I have developed a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. Talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure that I am one of them. So if you or someone you know is thinking about selling a home, remember what other real estate agents who have been in the business do. They call me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. I will wait to hear from you to take advantage of this good market. That's 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Thank you.
Attention, everyone. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. Let me say that again. Family Leisure is needing your help to clear out their inventory. And to do so, there are tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools are $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pools for less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Hey, if you need patio furniture, they have patio furniture that's now up to 30% off. Spas are in stock. They're up to $1,200 off. Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. 24 months, same as cash financing, is now available through this sale. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory, so come and do your part at Family Leisure. Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
You want the hottest summer deals in the Mid-South? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 41 MPG Highway, we got it in 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing. Get SUV action in 2023 Nero EV Wind. 253 miles of EPA estimated range. $292 a month, $49.99 due at signing. Or 2023 Kia EV6 Wind with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE. Only $425 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P 501,5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P 560,3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Two great locations for the commissary, the new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown where it all began for Walker Taylor and his great team in 1981. The Collierville location, perfect for a big group, plenty of room to spread out, and when the weather is nice, to get out on the patio. Memphis-style barbecue and ribs that scream the Memphis slow-cooked way, the Memphis style. Begin your barbecue feast with the great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales, the smoked chicken wings, or the barbecue nachos, invented at the Germantown Commissary in the early 80s. If you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary to 33733. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all the sides, beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well. You can order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack, and the salads and the chicken plate and those wonderful, as I mentioned, hot tamales dressed with chili cheese and fresh onions, and the desserts like the lemon icebox pie, the banana pudding, and the strawberry cake. 901-754-5540. online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown. Those great party areas, orders to go, catering, and tailgating season on the way. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
I'll go first
Good
today.
gracious. I mean, could you possibly be making more noise?
I'll go first today. My big number is
The racket
13.
over there.
My 13 number is in reference to the jersey number worn by one Ronald Acuna Jr. for the Atlanta Braves. I saw these stats on Twitter earlier today. We talk about consistency from a batter, and you get that from Ronald Acuna. This year he's hitting .335 on 505 at-bats. And taking a closer look at his splits, home and road splits, he has 253 at-bats at home, 252 on the road. At home, he's hitting .336. On the road, he's hitting .333. He has 29 stolen bags, both home and away. He has 14 home runs, both home and away. 37 RBIs, both home and away. 58 runs on the road and 55 away. 85 hits at home, 84 on the road. So when you talk about a consistent hitter, there might not be a more consistent hitter in the game right now than Ronald Acuna.
No kidding. Yeah, when did we ship him the MVP?
Right now, after those numbers.
No, we shipped it to him in June. I mean, or
July,
or even before
August,
May,
April.
No, I don't know if it was that soon. May for sure, though.
May for sure.
Did you know Ohtani is 4 home runs away from breaking the Angels' single season home run record?
Really?
And guess who is that set by? Who that is set by?
I really don't know.
Troy Glaus, former Cardinal.
Really?
How about that? My big number is 36 and a third.
36 and a third.
So I guess that would be 36.3. Would it be?
No, that.
3-3.
I guess so.
Steven Strasburg threw 36 and a third innings in the 2019 postseason to help lead the Nationals to the World Series title and earn himself a World Series MVP. Strasburg has thrown a total of 31 and a third innings in the 4 seasons since then.
I'm sad to see him retire today.
Sad.
It is. I like Steven Strasburg.
Me too.
And he, I think
he's the only only person to be drafted first overall and win World Series MVP.
Really?
In the history of the game.
Wow. First. And I mean, we talked earlier about that 2019 season. I mean, on top of the game, and then just injuries ever since then. Just really couldn't do anything. He's been on the IL all season this year, so it's been a rough couple years.
Too bad.
It's too bad.
Poor guy. Well, maybe not. Made a lot of money.
That is
for
sure.
Right? He made that big contract after.
Yeah. And he's still getting paid. I saw something.
Good for him.
He's gonna be making like $26 million next year or something like that.
I wouldn't play either.
Yeah, I mean, why am I playing anyway? I did see earlier today, I guess another big number that you could say is 11.
It's not a big number, Bryant.
In the last 11 games, the Yankees are now 1-10 after losing earlier today to the Nationals. They beat them last night to not get their 10th straight loss in a row.
Sure did.
But lost again this morning. Got up early and then lost the lead late in the game. And so 1-10 in their last 11 games is insane for the Yankees.
What do you think that means?
It means they're not very good.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Think it means anything else?
Nah, I think it's about it.
Brian Cashman's days are numbered?
Well,
Aaron Boone's days are numbered?
I think everybody's
Everybody's
days are numbered.
Except for Aaron Judge's and probably Harrison Bader.
I just mean in the front office.
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be a lot of clearing
What about
house.
the people that work at the concession stand? Should they be worried?
No, I think for right now their jobs are safe.
What about the ushers? Ticket takers?
No, I think all their mascot though I question.
I don't think we do ticket. I don't think we have ticket takers anymore. Although someone does stand next to the machine.
They scan the.
Yeah.
They scan the virtual
Someone still does
tickets.
that though.
Mm-hmm.
God bless them.
God bless them. Well, before we get to a break, weekend is approaching. College football is approaching, and I know you're looking for a spot to watch those games at with your friend. Let me point you into the direction of Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley, right behind 117 Prime. Open from 4 to 11 Wednesday through Saturday and 4 to 8 on Sundays. I know nobody likes a loud bar where they can't hear themselves think, much less talk. That's the opposite of Bell Tavern. Start your night with a gourmet burger and one of their great cocktails in a quiet, dimly lit bar that you can enjoy a game at with your friends. And it's not just the burgers. Bell Tavern has the best bar food in Memphis and the coldest beer in the city. You know 117 Prime, just walk through the dining room and you're at the best bar in town. For more information about our friends at Bell Tavern, call 901-249-6580. That's 901-249-6580. Or go online to belltavern.com. Well, that'll do it for our second hour. When we come back to start our third and final hour, Greg Gaston will join us to talk about the Tigers and their upcoming football season. That's next.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Douglas is a real Prevagen user and paid testimonialist.
My name is Douglas. I'm 79 and I live in Chicago. I'm a writer, director. I used to be a marathon runner. Now I'm a walker. In the kind of work that I do, you are surrounded by people who are all younger than you. Memory became a factor. As everyone gets older, where did I put my keys? But I had to get help to stay competitive. I happened across Prevagen, and I started taking it. I saw myself having an improved memory, which at the same time, I felt better about myself. I could not be doing what I'm doing today had it not been for Prevagen.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired.
These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Save up to $300 on a new energy-efficient tanked or tankless water heater from Conway Services. Upgrade your old, inefficient water heater with a new energy-efficient model. Or better yet, a tankless unit, so you're only heating the water you need and you never run out. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code STRONG for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STRONG for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code STRONG.
Memphis football is back Saturday, September 2nd versus Bethune-Cookman at 6 o'clock. We need Memphis at our 901 game home opener as we celebrate our city and welcome the excitement of college football back to the 901. See the new Tiger Tailgate, a new team run out, the Bill Street Flippers, and more. Tickets start at just $20 to witness the 901's football team in action. Be there Saturday, September 2nd. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Dacus, Jay Morgan Harder with you. No Brett Norsworthy this week. He'll be back on Monday. But joining us now to talk some Tigers, Greg Gaston. You can hear him every morning on this station with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. In about a week, you'll be able to see him on the sidelines for every Tiger home game. And he's brought to you by the law offices of Stephen Leffler, Neil's Bar and Grill, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, and Chet Whitsitt, your Crylite Realtor. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. It feels good to only be a week away from the first game of the season against Bethune-Cookman. And we saw earlier this week the new ticket option that the university has rolled out for $60. You get a ticket for Bethune-Cookman. If they win that game, you get a ticket for the next one. As long as they keep winning, you get a ticket for the next home game. What do you think of that idea?
Well, first of all, good afternoon, gentlemen. Great to be back on with you after vacation last week. And I hate to just add a little bit to the great introduction, Brian, but I'll be on the sideline for all games, not just the home games. I'll be there.
I apologize.
Obviously, we've been doing that for quite a few years now. But, yeah, I think it's a great promotion. I think Boise State originally came up with something very similar to that. So, well, I'd like to give all the credit to Memphis for coming up with this idea. This concept was thrown out there, I think, earlier this summer, and they jumped on it as well. And I think this is magnificent. Obviously, if you can get a season ticket for $60, you'll take that any day of the week. And even if you don't, you think you're going to at least see some home victories. The way the Tigers have compiled home victories over the years, and especially in recent history, there's a good chance you may save a lot of money, and it's also a chance to obviously get a larger fan base, at least early in that year, when you have a season where you open up with a Bethune-Cookman, and it's not a real attractive opponent, let's be honest. You want to try to get as big a crowd as you can, especially for the home opener. Yeah. It's kind of the scene setter for the season, and you'll have better opponents, obviously, coming in. But you want to have that. It's real good for the players, for the morale, for the coaching staff, for the city, just everybody to have a huge crowd. And sometimes it's tough. You know how easy it is to just sit at home and watch on your big screen and your air conditioning, and food and drink is a lot cheaper than going out to a stadium anywhere in the country, any venue. But my gosh, if you can get a season ticket for that low, you're going to jump on it, and hopefully it's going to spur on a lot of people to go out there and at least give it a shot and spend the $60 and see what happens.
Well, Greg, I have to give you a lot of credit. Brian Dacus tried to give the University of Memphis all the credit for this idea, and I said, no. I was producing mornings that week with Greg and Eli, and they talked about the same exact thing with Boise State. Now, it was more money, but nonetheless, I have to credit you and Eli for keeping everybody, including Brian and I, informed on all our subjects that we talk about on the station.
We didn't come up with the concept, obviously. Boise did, but yeah, we were just reporting what we saw, J-Mo.
That's right. Well, excellent job by you guys, truly. And like
Jay journalist.
That's right. So the 2-deep roster comes out on Monday, and I think they've announced a few starters thus far. Yesterday, I believe Coach Silverfield did. What are you looking forward to? What do you anticipate the most? What are your biggest, question marks ahead of the 2-deep roster being announced? What positions specifically are you going to be looking for that are battles in your mind going on that you want to see who came out on top in week 1 at least?
You know what's interesting with the 2-deep, as you guys know, in recent years, and I don't know when that trend started, but we see a lot more of the or.
Oh, yeah.
This guy or this guy or this guy. Mm-hmm. It never was like that. And I've been covering football for a long time. It was, here's your first teamers, here's your second teamers, and then it's always subject to change, right? Mm-hmm. By performance, by injuries, and things of that nature. But now they throw in a lot of ors. I don't know if it's because they are really undecided on that particular set up, whether it be running back or whatever position, or that particular player, or they don't want to hurt the feelings of a player. In this day and age, they may be a little bit more where it affects them by seeing their name not up there. But I guess I'm anticipating, probably I'm not alone in this, what we see at the running back position. Because wholeheartedly, in my opinion, going into this off season, coming out of spring ball, even though it's a big battle going on at that position, it looks like the running back room is pretty loaded. But Sutton Smith was the talk. Sutton Smith was the talk last year when they redshirted him. He played a little bit in those 4 games you're allowed to keep the red shirt. I expect Sutton Smith to be on that number 1 running back position. However, I would not be surprised if you see an or Blake Watson, an or Javion Ducker. Again, I don't think it's going to be one running back. It's not quite going to be running back by committee, but you're going to see, more than likely, you're going to see 3 running backs than you are going to see 1 running back. I'm just going to be curious to see if there's ors in there or if they have set their sights on Sutton, because Sutton's the guy behind closed doors that they are really hoping, and have been now since he arrived on campus, to become that next great running back, in the long line of running backs that they've had. Whether or not that happens, we'll have to wait and see. But that's the guy I think everybody's expecting to see blossom. So that's the one, J-Mo, I want to look at and go, all right, they're seeing what I see. So that's probably the other one. Because really, for most of the positions, I kind of know where they're going. The right tackle position, offensive lineman, right tackle is going to be an interesting one, because I don't know if Coach has set his mind up on that one. We know they got Pounders in as the starting left tackle. Mm-hmm. The decision to start Landfear at tight end and replace Caden Prieskorn is not a surprise. So I don't think there's a lot. The kicker is a good battle going on right now, who the number 1 kicker is. But I would say, again, long-winded answer, running back is the one I want to look to see on Monday.
When you talk about Sutton Smith and really, like you said, behind closed doors, in press conferences, really everywhere, ever since Sutton Smith stepped foot on campus, the coaches have been raving about him and really like what they've seen from him in practices and from in games where he's gotten some action. But for this group, I mean, we've talked about a lot. You've pointed it out a lot that you've got probably 3 or 4 backs in that running back room that could be your starter this year. But we all know that to have a good running back, you have to have a good offensive line. And I think Ryan Silverfield talked about that a lot last year when there was a lot of injuries to that offensive line, and even a little bit this offseason, just talking about trying to get that offensive line better. What do you expect from that group this year?
Yeah, that's a great point, right? Running backs have been a big part of this Tiger offense for a number of years, but the last 2 years has not produced that big-time running back. And it doesn't have to be the next NFL guy. Right. You would love it to be, but it doesn't have to be. But it's a combination of things. It's not just that running back. It's that offensive line. It's the tight end. It's the wide receivers doing their job blocking on the edge. So there's a lot that comes into it. What I would like to see, personally, and last year he proved he can run with the ball, is Seth Hedigan having to run a lot less, right? You don't want your stud quarterback out there getting pounded. Again, he did a really good job last year. So I would like to see that running game establish themselves where they're getting 3.5, 4 yards a pop. Then you feel really good. That offense is going to move right down the field, right? Mm-hmm. But as far as who can start, you're absolutely spot on, because I feel very comfortable if Ducker's in there. I feel really confident in Watson. Now, Watson's taken a step up in competition, but he was really good where he was, and now he's hopefully going to be good with Memphis. You have Thomas, who's been battling injuries the last 2 years. We know that he was the starter 2 years ago. And sorry, I got my fire alarm going off here in the house.
Oh, no, burning the place down, Greg.
No, I'm going to move into the garage as my wife's trying to cook here in the background, burning down the house with a steak or something. So,
all right, delicious.
Sorry about that. I knew something was going to happen when she was home at this time. But anyway, so Thomas was the starter 2 years ago and then got hurt. And then last year got hurt again. So I don't know how reliable he is from a durability standpoint. But we know that he is capable because he showed that. And then the other guy I'm looking at, and I'm not sure how much run he'll get, but you got Bull Hargrove, who's a solid running back who transferred from Mississippi State and could be a guy used in short yardage situations. So you couple that with Sutton Smith, you got 5 running backs. And we know with the attrition rate in running backs that you never have enough. So I think, but again, it starts with those big hosses up front, and the interior line looks to be really solid for Memphis. Knock on wood. They stay away from serious injuries. There's more depth with the O-line. The question mark are the tackles. And again, Pounders is going to be your left tackle. He's protecting the blind side of the right-handed quarterback, which is Hennigan. Who the right tackle is, we'll find out next week, at least when the depth chart comes out. But it's an effort from everyone to make that running game much better. It's not just the running backs themselves.
Talking to Greg Gaston about the Tigers, and you mentioned Anthony Lanphier was announced as the starting tight end yesterday by Coach Silverfield, and for a lot of people, this might be a name they're not familiar with after what Caden Prieskorn did last year as your starting tight end, your primary tight end, really primary pass catcher in that offense last year. Anthony Lanphier was used a lot kind of blocking, but really did not record any stats in terms of receptions. What do you expect from him at the tight end position this year?
Well, he's going to have to step up. I don't think he can be Caden Prieskorn. Caden Prieskorn, from everything I'm hearing, stats is down there at Ole Miss getting ready for the season, and Prieskorn may just be the starting tight end. And they got some good tight ends right there. I think, and I said it when he was at Memphis, I go, this guy could be an NFL tight end. So that's a big loss. And it was also a security blanket for Seth Hennigan. He knew when he threw the ball to Prieskorn, he was going to catch it most of the time. He had really good hands. So can Lanphier step up and be a catch? Can he be a receiver as much as he is a blocker? Because they're going to have to use that position to catch the football. They lose a lot of weapons, as you guys know, with their wide receivers. So that's certainly one of the bigger question marks on the team is the wide receiver / tight end production. They got some other young tight ends. They got some transfers. They got the kid from Colorado, Austin Smith. I'm not sure what his situation is, but that's a big guy at 6'5", 230. But Lanphier, and he is going to be the starter, he is going to have to catch passes. So we'll see how good his hands are when he gets out there for the first time this year. Last year, as you said, Brian, they weren't throwing the ball to him that much. He was mainly in there for blocking situations.
Yeah. Well, it's really, when you think about, obviously a lot of people want to point out the success you've had with running backs in the past at Memphis. Some people want to bring up the quarterbacks. TP, yeah. But, really, the tight ends, you've had some really reliable tight ends over the last 3 or 4. You go back Joey Magnifico, Sean Dykes, then Caden Prieskorn, even go back a little bit further to Alan Cross. You've had some pretty reliable tight ends with the past 4 or 5 years, so it could be a big question mark this year.
Oh, there's no question about it as far as the production they've had in the past. You mentioned Alan Cross. Alan Cross was an NFL tight end, for goodness sake, in Tampa Bay. Magnifico was terrific. Dykes was a more offensive-oriented tight end as opposed to a blocker. He wasn't the greatest blocker, but you knew that he would go right down the seams and he would beat defensive backs to the corner on post patterns. The guy knew how to run routes. With Lanphier, I don't know. I really don't know how he's going to do as far as production. And the tight end is so pivotal. Look at the NFL. Gosh, how many times do you see Travis Kelce down the middle, wide open, George Kittle down the middle, wide open? I don't know what it is. I don't know if those smallish defensive backs don't even want to battle a tight end, or they just are completely getting faked out by the play call because the tight end always seems to be open. So that is going to be important. Obviously, both the blocking for the running game, but certainly to catch passes because he needs – I don't want to call it a safety valve because it has not been – that position has not been a safety valve for Memphis quarterbacks over the years with all those guys we just rattled off. It is a big part of the offense. So hopefully Lanphier and others who will play that position will be able to step up and help Seth Hennigan with the passing game.
The tight end is always open, Greg. Always.
It seems that way, right?
It does. Greg, I want to go over to the defensive side of the ball because I've heard a lot of people. I've seen, I think I've seen a story on both the Commercial Appeal and the Daily Memphian about Simeon Blair, and I think there's a lot of intrigue about this guy coming from Arkansas, being a captain for the Razorbacks. I saw Silverfield in his press conference yesterday said that Simeon Blair will be one of the best defensive backs in the country. I think we've talked a lot about the leadership he brings from being a captain at an SEC school, but what does he bring on the field?
And he's a really good dude. I've had a chance to interview him now a couple of times, once on the show and then once during Friday Night Stripes. He brings leadership immediately. You mentioned he was a captain at Arkansas. They lose Quindell Johnson. They lose one of their key leaders of that team. And, boy, it would be nice if Quindell Johnson had another year and he was back there with Simeon Blair. But Blair is going to bring that leadership. He's a hard hitter. He's going to need help back there. You can't do it yourself. And he's got Greg Rubin, and there's some other guys that are ready to step in. You guys are young, but Memphis produced a lot of NFL defensive backs over the years. I mean, a host of NFL defensive backs. So, and even recently, they've produced a couple of guys. So I think that he has that chance, Simeon Blair, to be one of the best in the conference. I think being a first-team all-conference performer is not out of the question. And his leadership may be unmatched. They need him to step up and be one of those leaders. They lost a lot of veteran guys, mainly at, Quindell Johnson, but also from the D-line and a couple of linebackers that they lost too were real communicative guys on the field, leaders on and off the field, and he's going to have to step right into that role.
Yeah. What's your biggest question mark for this defense this year?
Well, offensive capability with what they lost from last year. They lost a bunch of their receiving core. Is Tosky Dove, is Demir Blankensee, Rock Taylor, who is back from last year, but last year wasn't a real reliable receiver.
Right.
I mean, he dropped a lot of balls. Are those guys going to be able to step up and make the big plays for Seth Hennigan? Joe Skates, who was either hit or miss, right? A bomb that he would catch or a bomb that he would drop. Can he be more consistent? We just talked about Lanphier on the tight ends, replacing Caden Prescorn. And then we went over the running backs, right? Just not productive the last couple of years like they should be. And even towards the end of last year, and Memphis obviously would go on to play in a bowl game and win, it was the little guy, Asa Martin, who really stepped up, and he's gone. So my biggest question is offensively, I think they have the players to replace what they lost, and they're going to need that. The defense could be really good, but the defense is going to give up some points against the better team. Can they? I mean, he came back. He's made this commitment to staying with the University of Memphis football program. Does he have enough weapons for this all click? I think he does, but they're going to have to show it to me.
Greg Bryant says this is my favorite college football question. What can I say? I'm an NFL guy. I like the NFL. So I'll ask you this. Who has the best who are some of the guys that have the best pro prospects on this team?
Well, I can't wait to see Ellison in the middle of that defensive line because I've heard so many good things about him. Now, again, I have not seen him in person. So it'll be the first time I saw him in practice, but I have not seen him in a game. He's 6'3", 300 pounds. He transferred from Oklahoma. You're being recruited by Oklahoma. He went from junior college, Blinn College to Oklahoma. Then you got the pedigree, right? I couldn't tell you walked around. But that guy in the middle is somebody you better look out for, possibly at that next level. I would think that Smith becomes the running back that the coaching staff believes he can, then maybe in a couple of years, once he's produced this year and next year, then he is a candidate maybe to get a shot at the next level. From the secondary, does Simeon have the size to play at the next level? I don't know if he does. Jeffrey Canton Arku is the really the leader that's back at linebacker. But again, I don't think he has the lateral speed, although he'll get a shot in the NFL. I'm not so sure about the lineman. Jacob Lux may get a look. I would think he would get a look. I just don't see a ton of those prospects. Now, guys like State and Dove, Blankham's speed, but they're going to have to be consistent ball catchers. They're going to have great hands, and if they can put up big numbers, then they'll get a look as well. Remember, Anthony Miller was a walk-on from Christian Brothers High School, and just got recently picked up by the San Francisco 49ers and has put together a nice little NFL career. So you never know who's going to step up, especially with some of these new guys that they brought in. And great job in getting guys from time programs, from LSU, from Oklahoma, from Arkansas, wherever they come from. So you got to figure that those guys who were recruited that heavily and started out at Power 5 schools have the pedigree, have the talent. It's just whether or not they can do it consistently, have huge years and put themselves on somebody's map.
Yeah. Greg, I want to switch gears over to basketball real quickly because still some question marks around this team, and the biggest one being around DeAndre and what happens with the NCAA. I think last week, Parthu Badai over at the Daily Memphian wrote a story talking about his sources were telling him that in the next week or so, Memphis should have an answer about DeAndre. And then yesterday I saw Fox Sports, John Fanta wrote a story where he talked about the Tigers, and in there said that the Fox Sports sources were telling them that it does not look good that DeAndre Williams would get an extra year of eligibility. Have you heard anything, any updates about the situation, and where do you sit right now in the DeAndre Williams situation?
Yeah, no updates. I got no inside information, and I think anybody is, they're using their sources, they're doing their due diligence, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what the NCAA is thinking with every single individual case that they do. So it wouldn't shock me either way. Penny's preparing as if he's not going to be on the team, even though he felt good at his last press conference that he said he thinks there's a good chance. Certainly being optimistic is a good thing. But I think he knows down deep inside that it may not happen. And they have put together, with this late rush the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, just an amazing array of talent when it looked dire. So if they get DeAndre Williams, that is the cherry on top of the sundae. But right now, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. But to be able to get David Jones now on campus, he's ready to go with everything they got, including Brown, who I think is going to be terrific as their big in the middle. I don't know. If they get DeAndre Williams, to me, even though they won't get the accolades in the preseason, and really who cares? A little bit of love. But you're looking at possibly a top 15 team. If they don't get DeAndre Williams, I still think this is a top 25, top 30 team. Now, you got to go out there and prove it. But I was reading John Rothstein today, and he talked about the 5 that he thinks will be the starters if they don't get DeAndre Williams. And he talked about that age, which was average, I think, of 22.3 years. And then it goes up if they get Williams, obviously, in age. So he said nobody's going to want to mess with a veteran team like that come postseason time. And I think that's what it is. But the question is, can they get off to a quick start when it's all new guys, with the exception of Jaden Hardaway. And Jaden Hardaway, I can't imagine, would be a starter. I think he'd be a rotation player. Sure. So Memphis has that schedule at the beginning of the year that they do every year that gives them a chance to make noise right away. And when you play in a weakened conference, when you lose Houston, it is a weekend conference. Thank God Florida Atlantic did what they did last year. Could you imagine if Florida Atlantic just was their normal self? How people would perceive this conference? Right now they're looking at it as just Memphis and Florida Atlantic. But you have a chance, obviously, to do some damage early. If you do some damage early, you're going to get that national recognition. So I don't know about Williams, Brian, but I'm telling you, this could be a fun year for Memphis.
Yeah. Last thing for you, I've heard a lot of more rumors about maybe Malcolm Dandridge coming back and joining this roster. What do you think about the chances of him rejoining this team?
Yeah, look, I think the chances are better because right now the uncertainty, and there's always been the uncertainty with DeAndre Williams, but I find it hard to believe when people say, well, this is Malco's decision. If it was Malco's decision, the guy would have already decided. Yeah. I still think this comes down to Penny Hardaway. He's thrown out the olive branch. I'm not sure if Penny, even though he has a great relationship with Malco, necessarily wants him. If you get Williams back, where are the minutes coming for Malco? I mean, he might get a few minutes, but the problem is, the inconsistency. I like Malco when he plays hard, but he's distant. You can't always depend on him being able to go. And who knows, a guy who's been around the system and been around the team that long, maybe he doesn't want to hear from other guys who are new that are going to want to have their voice heard, and that could be a disruption. I just think he may be on the team. It wouldn't shock me if he's on the team. I still think this is Penny's decision and Penny's alone, because I think if it was Malco's decision, he already would have made the decision to either rejoin Memphis or go to one of these other schools that are looking at him.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. But, Greg, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Talk to you next week, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Greg.
Greg Gaston joining us. You can hear him every morning with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. And starting in a week, he'll be on the Tiger sidelines for every single game, both home and away. He's brought to you by the law offices of Stephen Leffler, Neil's Bar and Grill, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, and Chet Whitsett, your Cry Light Realtor. Let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right, over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing direct to the public. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. What people really love about Genesis is the transparency, the education. Genesis is revealing all the long-held secrets of the diamond industry. We'll teach you how to buy like a dealer buys, how to understand the ways diamonds are priced by the wholesalers, how slight variations in size and clarity can translate into thousands in savings passed along to you. At Genesis, our non-commissioned diamond experts are here to guide you every step of the way. Our diamond education will make you a better, more informed consumer. Even if you don't buy from us, we'll make you a more dangerous shopper when you visit other places. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar & Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Whatever vehicle needs you may be wishing for, we've got you covered at Gossett Mitsubishi. 41 MPG Highway that can turn on a dime, that's 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $17,395 or $249 a month. 2024 Eclipse Cross combines luxurious styling with cutting-edge technology, generous cargo room, and versatility. $29,100 or $399 a month. And the powerful and fun-to-drive 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander. $29,580 or $499 a month. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, G4 PH 006839, MSRP 17895, Cross RZ 00688, MSRP 29850, Outlander PZO 59809, MSRP 30080, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Brett has to tell us a word about All-Star, but I would just like to point out that we're double dipping with this as an outro and an intro now. This song is called Electric Feel. It's also one of our outros. Anyway, here's Brett with a word from All-Star.
A little summer drive adventure is all yours in one of the hot new All-Star Chevys. Olive Branch is where all the Chevys are. Silverados for sure. They have financing as low as 1.9 on most of the new Silverados, and your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it at All-Star. Trail Boss, High Country, and you can see Kevin or Jeff to order any custom Silverado or any new Chevy you want. Drive one of these Tahoes or Equinox. That'll be a sweet last summer drive for any adventure. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned, All-Star's loaded up with Silverados, Corvette Stingrays. And if it's not at All-Star, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin told me to thank all of you. Brought your cars, your trucks, your SUVs to All-Star to sell. Thank you to everyone who've been bringing their cars and trucks down to All-Star to sell. You can even get a check for some crazy great cash today. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
You're talking about us double dipping on music. We just got this new music the other day. It's fantastic. These songs are great. I love them.
All right.
I just wanted to. You said that earlier. I just wanted to talk about how much I love these songs. They're great. Give me juiced up.
Cool.
You know, they don't get you juiced up. You don't seem
They're
juiced
fine.
up.
They're.
What would you have picked?
I would have picked no music underneath the guy saying, "Here's back to sports time," and he would just say that, and then I would just play whatever I want every rejoin. That's what I want.
That's what you want.
That's what I want.
Interesting.
But no one cares what I want, Bryant.
That's true.
Anyway.
So we mentioned earlier that the Nationals beat the Yankees, and that's 10 out of the last 11 games have been losses for the Yankees. It has been absolutely miserable to watch them play baseball, especially if you're a fan. Good Lord, I can't even imagine. But some other finals from earlier today, Dodgers and Guardians had to finish up a game from last night. They got postponed. Dodgers end up winning that one 6-1. They're up again 8-2 on the Guardians. Guardians just, after what they were last year, making the wild card and looking like a really good young team that would be able to build and kind of be a force, they've been terrible this year. They've not been good. They've not been fun to watch. They've had kind of their rotation has kind of been a merry-go-round of some sorts, calling people up, sending people down, a lot of bullpen days. I loved watching Cleveland last year. I can't watch them this year.
They do have a good lineup, though.
They have a good lineup.
I like the lineup.
I don't like the pitchers.
Sounds familiar. Another team that plays in Central, but in the National League.
Yeah, a team that we talk about a lot.
The Birds, the Cardinals.
That'd be right. Rays win again 5-3 against the Rockies. Red Sox 17-1 against the Astros. Big win for the Red Sox. A 6-run inning in the third for Boston.
Wow. That's all. That's all I have.
Just a wow.
Wow. I'm just going to try and give a different, enthusiastic soundbite after each score or stat you read. Okay, keep going. I'm listening.
That's it, though. So do you want me to, try again?
No, that's all right.
Dodgers beat the Guardians 6-1.
Whoa!
Nationals beat Yankees 6-5.
I don't know, man.
Well, that was.
I'm out.
You acted like you had all this great, material, and you had nothing.
But I wish I had the actual sound. I don't want to make it in my mouth. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Well, you're ridiculous.
Bush League, man. Amateurish. And we're very professional here.
Are we?
Sure.
Interesting.
Starting now.
Have you paid attention much to the Tour Championship? I know how much you love Thursdays because you watch golf during the day.
Yes, Scotty had a triple.
He had a triple and is now in T5, I think.
Wow.
Because he's already started 10 under.
I mean 10 under.
But a couple guys really lit it up. I think I saw a 9 under for the day. And
Morikawa had 9.
Morikawa was really good. 9 under today. Keegan Bradley 7 under today. Victor Hovland 2 under. They're all at
Adam
10
Schenk
under.
shot 7 under today.
Scotty Scheffler kind of. I mean, he got a stroke back, and so only finished 1 over. But
how about it?
Who'd you say played well?
Adam
today?
Shank shot 7 under.
Oh, I love Adam Shank.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I just love his game. You know?
Russell Henley shot 5 under.
Hendog.
Terrell Hatton shot 6 under.
So some good scores down in
Sepp
Atlanta.
Straka shot 4 under. He started even, though.
Rory finished even today. I was reading earlier that he injured his lower back this week at his house, and so it was kind of he didn't make it public, but like in his camp, there were a lot of questions on if he would even be able to play this weekend, and he toughed it out and went out there, and I think it was 1 over for most of the day. I guess got one back later in the afternoon.
Isn't camp a funny term for like someone's like group of?
I love it.
Close...
I love saying camp.
What else? Boxers have a camp.
Boxers have a camp.
I guess every athlete has a camp.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Their camp is saying this. Teams have a camp.
Your agent and people are your camp usually.
What is a team's camp? The GM and stuff?
I guess like the front office people.
Their camp.
The ones making all the decisions. That's really what it is. The camp or the ones making the decisions.
But they're not setting up camp.
No, they're just...
Well, maybe they have set up camp. Their camp is just a luxurious office building.
But usually the camp talks in unison. They're all together.
Yeah, they speak for the camp. Who speaks for the camp?
That's a good question. Probably the agent.
Whoever talks to the reporter.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. Because their camp is saying
this.
Their
camp is saying this.
Yeah.
That's a reporter's way of saying, I talked to one person and they speak for everybody.
And they said, this is what we're doing. And so they speak for everybody. I did see earlier today...
Do actors have a camp?
I'm sure, but I that's more your avenue. I'm not really engrossed in what happens in Hollywood.
There's not like drama in that regard where like contracts are being shifted around.
Yeah.
What if it was? What if like Universal? Crazy. What if we like followed production companies?
We're trading so and so.
We followed that's how it used to work. But like, what if we had like followed production companies like sports teams? That would be interesting. Anyway,
you'd love that, I'm sure.
No, I wouldn't like that at all.
Really? Seems like
I like all of them. I wouldn't like the division.
So you'd have to pick a team then.
Yeah, I wouldn't like the division.
No, you wouldn't. I did see earlier where we've gotten some trades in the NFL as teams are trying to lock in their roster for the regular season. Josh Dobbs, who just
Space
signed,
Astro Dobbs.
He has an Astro chain and an Astro hat. I saw them both. But
Space Dobbs.
But Josh Dobbs, who was signed by Cleveland, and from everything you've read, everything you've seen, was going to be the lock for backup quarterback. He's been traded about an hour ago. He'll go to the Cardinals. So the Cleveland sending Josh Dobbs and a 7th-round pick in this upcoming draft in exchange for a 2024 5th-round pick, so coming up. Dobbs was with the Titans last year, signed with the Browns in March, and so...
I think he was picked up off waivers by the Titans,
Oh, really?
Midway through. Yeah, he didn't start the season with the Titans.
Oh, you're saying last year. Okay, I thought you were saying the Browns picked him up from waivers from the Titans.
Or maybe he was just a regular free agent. But they did pick him up during the season when they had no quarterback or was injured.
Yeah. Well, now this is interesting for Josh Dobbs because he's going to Arizona.
Space Dobbs. And
Arizona doesn't have a quarterback right now because Kyler Murray's injured. So Josh Dobbs...
Starter Dobbs.
Could be the starter.
How about that?
Because it was a bad situation. I can't remember... What,
and it would be really good if Josh Dobbs started, so that's perfect.
No.
Hey, it might be. You don't know. He's a smart guy. Geno's playing well now. People change, Bryant.
Yeah, but I guess you're right. But I
Does Space Dobbs like clubbing?
I don't know.
I've heard rumor.
I saw him at a bar. So.
I've heard rumor Space Dobbs likes the nightlife.
Which
is not a crime. People like the nightlife, but that could be something that could detract from.
Yeah, I don't know what the nightlife is like.
Maybe that's unfair
in
to
Phoenix.
say. I take it back. I apologize. That was unfair.
Yeah, that was. The only thing I can add to that is I saw him at a bar in the middle of the day, but it was also a weekend. It was like Saturday. Everyone's at the bars in the middle of the day. It was like the first nice day they'd have in Nashville.
Right.
So he was out partying with his boys.
You got to.
So right now in Arizona, so Kyler Murray is not playing. Colt McCoy is your backup, and Clayton Tune is the 3rd string. And there has been a lot of talk about could Clayton Tune, the 5th-round pick from Houston.
I think Colt McCoy's the starter.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
So not Josh. So Josh Dobbs comes in as the backup.
Correct.
And they get
Colt
rid of
McCoy's seasoned vet.
And they get rid of Clayton Tune.
I don't know if they get rid of him.
You can only have 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
Then they get rid of Clayton Tune.
Unless maybe they can put Kyler Murray on the IL or something like that. I don't know. But I did think that was interesting that Josh Dobbs is now on the move. It also means, I guess, by just subtraction and addition, DTR, who has had a phenomenal preseason, is going to be your backup quarterback in Cleveland.
Wow, old Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Going to be your backup quarterback.
How about that?
Are you excited?
Yeah. Do I sound like it?
No.
Oh. I'm trying.
Let's work on that energy.
Trying to fake it.
But the Cardinals have been very active today in terms of trades. Earlier today, they dealt Isaiah Simmons to the Giants and offensive tackle Josh Jones to the Texans. The Isaiah Simmons trade was wild because they traded him for like a 7th-round pick, didn't they?
Sure did.
And he's been good.
No, there had to be something else in there. That can't be right.
I don't think so. Arizona received a 2024 7th-round pick from New York as compensation.
Wow,
Simmons, 25, entering his final year of his rookie contract. The Cardinals selected the defender as the number 8 pick in the NFL draft. He played in every game for the Cardinals last season with 99 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, one of which went for a touchdown. He started 13 of Arizona's 17 games.
Are you sure that's all it was for?
I guess just dumping that contract on last year. I don't know.
Maybe so. And they knew he wasn't going to resign. Great for the Giants, man. That's big time.
It really is. No, I think the Giants are going to be good this year.
Oh, wow. Daboll's already taken the podium and talked about the addition.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you have what he said, or you just know he talked about it?
Unless we want to listen to the entire 10-minute clip.
No, thank you.
No,
I don't think we have time for that. No. But no, I do think the Giants are going to be really good this year. Daniel Jones, Darren Waller now as your tight end. That's going to be a good connection. So, NFC East, it could be the NFC Beast once again.
NFC Beast.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you just said. I'm looking up to see if I can find what Brian Daboll said. I apologize for leaving you hanging there with some silence.
No, that's okay. I just I thought you were going to add something after you said NFC Beast, and then you just held and said, that's what you said?
Nothing came up when I just looked up
Well, that's
Brian
okay.
Daboll.
You know what I'm sure he said? He said it's a great addition. We got better today.
Called an athletic.
He is athletic.
And explosive.
Sure.
With
Another word for
multiple
athletic.
role potential. He's already spoken with him on the phone.
That's great. Already getting that chemistry there. Head coach and player, nothing more important.
He's explosive. His athleticism jumps off the tape. We were looking to add depth to our linebacker room, but we didn't acquire a linebacker. We acquired a football player,
Ooh.
Wink.
Wait. Was the Wink in there?
Oh, no, he's talking about Wink Martindale. Wink is pumped. But they used parentheses for Wink. I mean, they used quotation marks for Wink and quotation marks for chuckle. Well, he didn't say chuckle.
He chuckled.
Ha, ha, ha.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Great. I think it's a great pickup for the Giants. I didn't expect anything less from Daboll.
You know what? I'm looking for more quotes now from Daboll. I'd like to just see more things he said.
Right. Well, you can,
just in general about the Giants.
Yeah, well, you can.
I like listening to coaches talk just
it's
as much as I like
things
watching.
To do during the year.
I like listening to it just as much as I like watching them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now it does get a lot after a while, I have to say, but
week
for the most
13,
part, it's fun.
week 14.
Oh, brother, before that, like week 6 or 7, I'm just feeling it. Oh man.
Yeah, that sounds awful. But let's get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show. Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Memphis football is back Saturday, September 2nd versus Bethune-Cookman at 6 o'clock. We need Memphis at our 9:01 game home opener as we celebrate our city and welcome the excitement of college football back to the 9:01. See the new Tiger Tailgate, a new team run out, the Bill Street Flippers, and more. Tickets start at just $20 to witness the 901's football team in action. Be there Saturday, September 2nd. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte PE 659,993, MSRP 22,540, Nero P501 5237, MSRP 41,390, EV6 P560 33,93, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details, offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only, warranties, a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. Hey, what's the scoop over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, we got deals everyone wants. How about 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, give me some EV scoop.
2023 Nero EV Win, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $292 a month. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE. Only $425 a month, both $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Hotsy Pressure Washers and Detail Supplies of Memphis takes it all off. They are the #1 cleaning and equipment provider, period. Big or small, Hotsy has the solution. From hot water and cold water pressure washers to industrial soaps and detail supplies, Hotsy has you covered. For our Sports 56 fans, you get 20% off all detail products, so don't miss out on this amazing deal. Call Hotsy today, 901-379-0550, or visit their showroom, conveniently located at Austin P and I-40.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Once again, here are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, what I learned today is that the Los Angeles Lakers announced this morning that they're going to unveil a Kobe Bryant statue outside of Crypto.com Arena on February 8th. The announcement came today on 8/24, which is obviously significant because those are the two jersey numbers that Kobe Bryant wore while he was a Laker. I love this. Kobe Bryant, my favorite player of all time, and so I love that they're going to get a statue up this season. It's going to be unveiled in February, and I already saw the ticket prices just to get inside Crypto.com Arena right now for that game, already like $600, and it's only going to go up.
That really is crazy, all this stuff going on. It's well deserved, too. I think everyone is really excited about all that, too. What a coincidence, Bryant. That is also my top story
Is
today.
it really?
I'm so excited about Kobe. In fact, they released some Kobe's today, and I
Did they really?
I didn't win.
see
I didn't win either of the drawings there, so that's too bad. But nonetheless, still a nice to honor Kobe.
Absolutely. What I could have done without, we talked about it earlier in the show, but Shohei with his torn UCL won't pitch for the rest of the season. It was reported earlier while we were talking that he's going to still bat. He's with the team as they travel to New York. He's going to bat, be their designated hitter, but what does this mean moving forward? Will he need Tommy John surgery? Will he be able to just rehab it without his second Tommy John surgery? How will this affect his upcoming free agency when teams look at him? And then also, it wasn't just Shohei Ohtani that dealt with an injury last night. Mike Trout right back on the IL after returning on Tuesday. I mean, when things looked pretty good for the Angels around trade deadline, as we start to get to September, it's hard to think about them looking much worse than this.
No kidding, it really is. And he's close to a home run record, though, so good for him.
That's true. And he'll still be able to hit, so that should be good.
God bless.
Yeah.
And he'll make a lot of money in his next contract.
That's a ton
so
of
really,
money.
what are we pining for, Bryant?
That we won't get to see him pitch.
Oh.
And that he might have to have Tommy John surgery again. And then we won't get to see him pitch next year.
Oh. We knew it was coming.
Yeah. You're not top, or what you
don't
could have done with him?
you always would have thought he would be able to hit a lot longer than he ever would have.
Oh, absolutely.
You didn't necessarily think it would be this short, and he's almost 30. I'll tell you what.
Okay, this is gonna sound awful, but I mean, fading out or a second Tommy John surgery.
Huh.
Because I mean, nobody wants to see him with like a 7 ERA or something.
If it doesn't do any harm to get another Tommy John surgery, get it just to make that bag and then stop pitching.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Yep.
So he'll if he has to have Tommy John surgery, he'll do it like first week when they're knocked out, and then by the time the season rolls around, he'll definitely be able to swing a bat.
TJ, yeah, because Bryce Harper could.
I just hate it for Shohei, though, because, I mean, he really is
Poor guy.
a star that gets a lot of people that aren't really baseball fans into the game.
Big star in Japan. One of the Little League guys called him a superhero.
Superhero, yeah.
Also my top story.
Oh, okay.
Where are you beaming, Bryant?
Oh, I have to go first for this? You know
Always.
what? I think I am going to beam... Let's beam to Colts and Eagles tonight. It's going to be the Amazon Prime game in Philadelphia. I haven't heard anything whether or not Anthony Richardson is going to play tonight.
Tony Rich.
He didn't play in game 2, preseason game 2, so I'm not sure if he'll play tonight.
Probably not.
I hope so.
Didn't they
announce
announce or something, or did I just assume they announced that he wasn't going to
They might have. Maybe I haven't seen it. I don't know. Where you been?
I'm beaming to Alaska, Bryant.
And why?
I'm going to go home and watch an old CBS show called Northern Exposure tonight, and it takes place in Sicily, Alaska, so I'm going home to Alaska.
So you're going to be just so entranced by that show that you'll be
Like I'm beaming there.
It's like you're beaming there. Interesting.
See me a moose. Or two.
Well,
2 moose.
Have fun with Eliza. I think it's far too cold for me. We got a handful of baseball games tonight. We've also got 2 preseason games at 6:30. Steelers, Falcons, Colts, Eagles at 7 o'clock. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long because right now when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. How about Cincinnati? They nearly pulled the trick 2 years ago. I'm riding them. Great quarterback, solid offensive line, talent on defense, and consistency with a coaching staff. Plus, they've got experience in the big games recently. They've been close. I think they finally knocked down the door. So visit FanDuel.com/win and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/win.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253